they can hear
Hello,
us
hello,
now.
hello.
All right.
Can you hear me? What about
Hey,
me?
everybody.
What about me?
Everybody. We're just
What about me?
Whoa, shit. All right, we're in there. Yeah, today's episode, What About Elena? We've got your emails. Hey, everybody. We got your letters, your strongly worded letters. We'll let her talk now. All right, Elena.
Thank you guys for sticking up for me.
Yeah, oh my God. We needed dozens of letters to tell us. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Salsa Parlor morning show, where the lighting is now significantly better than the hosts. And, I mean, it always was, but look at it. It's beautiful in here. What have we got for you this week? McDonald's is finally... the system is breaking down, and it's affected us firsthand. Feelings have been hurt. Babies didn't get to eat last night, and the world needs to know. So the McDonald's strike is real. We're going to open up with hard-hitting stuff. After that, we're going to get into some easier topics like COVID-19 restrictions being lifted, Ohio's lottery system to get Sweaty Hill people that don't live in hills to get vaccines. A Florida woman poses as a student to do what? You'll have to stick around. Yeah, that's what we call the hook. And then Roe v. Wade. Real easy topic to wrap up the regular talking points this week before the block of cringe.
I'd say the lightest of topics we have.
Yeah,
on the
I would
roster.
say, well, they don't weigh that much, right? Okay.
Oh
Whoa, whoa, all right. Whoa, it's so heavy, and it's technically light. All right. Ooh, and we lost people. All right, so let's get into, I'd say, the most devastating topic.
Oh my God.
Which is McDonald's. It's on its knees right now because the proletariat workers are just not having the bullshit
Nobody
anymore.
wants to work anymore, dude. Everybody's lazy now.
Yeah,
Everybody in the country's a welfare queen now, bro. It's pathetic.
It's incredible. I woke up to a Fox News segment of, I don't even know what the anchor's name is, but he has Jocko Willink on. And like, so you have like just thick-necked Jocko Willink, former Navy SEAL, now America's first space Marine, like talking to the country, being like, you know what? Yeah, it does suck, but just get back out there. I'm like, Jocko, like, dude, you're a specimen of a human being, and then there's people that
and also doesn't need McDonald's to survive like us.
right.
Like,
yeah. He's.
why is he weighing in? Why does
He
why does he
wasn't-
get
he-
a fucking opinion on
Okay,
McDonald's?
I will say this. Jocko wasn't weighing in on McDonald's. They were
Okay.
just talking about welfare
Oh.
states in general. But it's like the Fox News correspondent's line that like made me gut, making more money than ever on unemployment.
Yeah.
He's like, listen, they might be making more money than they've ever made, but they need to go back to work and just do the right thing. I'm like, oh, get fucked, dude.
Yeah, if there's anything I know about Fox News is that they always do the right thing.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Fuck?
Like, do the right thing? I'm like,
When
oh,
did Fox News anchors become moral arbitrators?
but plus, like, as much as like America's the land of the home and the free, it's also the land of you get yours if you can and gaming the system.
Yeah,
and like, yo,
exactly,
dude,
dude.
like, I'm sorry, if you want people to go back to work, then yeah, Big Daddy Uncle Sam's gonna have to pull up them purse strings
Bro,
and stuff.
fucking Applebee's was doing this thing where they were offering free appetizers to any person who would come in for an interview.
Yeah.
And somebody posted it and it went viral, and they're like, man, y'all motherfuckers will literally do anything besides pay people more.
Yeah,
Like
it's
free appetizers.
It's incredible, man. Like, I've actually seen things at McDonald's now and other fast fooderies where they're like giving $20 for people who come in to interview to just take the time to even come in and interview.
It's crazy.
What was there? Hang on, there was one restaurant I saw in town where they're like 2 to 5 come in, hired on the spot. I can't remember what fucking restaurant in town is like. If you come in between 2 to 5 p.m. this week, they'll just give you a fucking job.
I don't know what's going on. I was in the mountains for a week and I came back, and evidently the workforce thing is like way more of an issue now. It's ridiculous, man. I mean,
Everybody's just, a lot of people who were in food service before have different jobs now.
that or they're just not going back, and I don't blame them.
That and they're not going
Dude,
back.
Yeah.
again, like going back to Tim Dillon did a hilarious segment on his podcast where he talked about the minimum wage is still like $7.25 an hour.
Yeah.
And
federally.
then, did you guys see it? And then he calls a Sonic that's like hiring people on the spot. And he calls a Sonic, and evidently people that serve at Sonic, like on the roller skates or whatever, make like $5.20 an hour plus tips. And then a fry cook will start at $11 an hour. And he's just talking about, he's like, oh yeah, so that's great. So I've got a wife and 2 kids, so $11 an hour, that should be fine. 40 bucks a week. We're talking about like, in between 400, 500 bucks taxed.
Yeah,
And then I'm like, yeah, dude, you're starting to see people where, Elena, you brought up last night that, some of these jobs shouldn't be jobs that you can live off of.
I feel bad. Like, it makes me feel bad. Like, maybe I'm like a bad person or something, but I'm also like, if you have 2 kids, maybe you shouldn't be applying to fucking Sonic.
Right,
you know what I mean? Like, that's
yeah,
just like
but
where
some
I'm
people
at
just
in my
don't have
brain.
skills.
Right, yeah.
I don't know.
like,
It's just
I don't-
scary because anyone can
Here's-
have
here's the
kids.
thing.
So it's like if you don't have skills to feed them,
I would
then that
never
sucks.
do it, but when people just kind of like stay behind at those jobs and decide that's what they're gonna just do, like
Yeah.
whatever. Like if you want to do that with your life, then like fine.
Well, yeah, there's people I worked
at
at
the
Culver's.
very least, I think you deserve to be paid like to not like
Well, I think we're
be
seeing it.
fucking struggling so hard.
Yeah, I go to Culver's I go to the Culver's that I used to work at, and people I used to work with serve me food still. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't believe this.
But so here's kind of a wild thing, and I think we're seeing it now, though, is you say it's a job that, like, oh, maybe you don't want to have for the rest of your life or something like that. Maybe. I'm not putting, like, I don't want to put words in your mouth.
No,
I'm
I
just
just
kind
mean
of
like
saying.
some of these things like McDonald's, it's like that's like a first job. Like a lot
Right.
of things are like first jobs, like part-time jobs.
Right.
You know what
but
I mean?
but what I think is like if people are now feeling it more than ever, though, and I think the higher ups at these companies have to feel it, where it's like, yo, man, if your bottom line is to make as much money as possible for yourselves, but you still don't recognize that the grunts on the ground are the one that are gonna make you that money, and if you don't take care of them, they're gonna bring you down.
No,
And I'm like, who cares if it's, especially in this world right now, where it's like you either have to be a hyper specific expert on something or like a cog.
yeah.
And it's like, I hate to say it, but it's like if you're a cog, you still should be paid to not
Absolutely.
just survive, but live a little bit.
No,
you know?
I agree that people like should. I agree that I would like to establish that I agree that people should be paid living wages.
Yeah.
I just don't agree that everyone should get $15 an hour
Right.
for the typical argument you hear from
As
right wing people. You know,
Right,
I
right.
don't know if I think that McDonald's workers should make
We-
$15 an hour.
we forgot to do our
think
intros.
everybody should
and
make $350 an hour.
It's either nothing or $350.
I was gonna say, as we get our Dunkin' delivered to us,
Yeah.
we forgot to do intros. Now's a good time to do it because Trevor just jumped back in. I'm one of your hosts, Louis Michael. Across from me is always
I'm the coffee boy,
the bad boy,
Michigan coffee bad boy. That's it.
Trevor Tress. All right.
It's-
Travis Ross.
I told you about the important part.
Yeah, there it is. And then, how you doing?
I'm great now that I got this coffee. Slut for coffee, Jake Ford on the podcast.
Off mic.
Slut for iced coffee. Get that hot shit out of here.
Yeah, you too hot for that coffee, baby. Off
burn my
mic
tongue.
producer spot. We got Zachary Burkar. He's on the wheel of the machine today. And then the person we're letting talk more this week.
Hi. That's all I have to say.
Not even gonna give him your name.
It's
just keep it.
Elena.
But no. So last night, you, Trevor, and I were driving home from a mic,
Oh
and
my
we
God.
clownishly stopped at 5 McDonald's locations on our way home. Each one of them, either just outright lights off, nobody's home, or when we pulled up to the speaker, they just said, we're closed.
Well, the biggest
Like-
bitch slap in the face was when like other people were in line for the McDonald's and they go, "We're closed now." That's what
Yeah.
someone said to us. We're closed now. And I
Yeah,
was
that
like,
happened to me
okay.
on Thursday after band practice. I was at McDonald's. They were like 20 cars deep. We finally got up to the fucking speaker, and they were like, "Yeah, we don't have any workers. We're closed now."
Dude.
We were like, Word.
These McDonald's are now, they're pulling the ice cream machine's broken thing, but for everything in the store.
Yeah.
Because, like, you used to roll up to McDonald's and be like, ooh, I want an ice cream. And 1 in 10 would be like, fucking all right.
Yeah.
Now you're just rolling up to a McDonald's and they're like, yeah, we're closed. And last week, I remember they did, like, restricted menu. I went to one. And they're like, yeah, we're just doing McChickens and cheeseburgers. And I've had that happen before. If it's like a pretty intense like game day or something around East Lansing where I think they are run out of food for the day. But it's like, no, I think it was just a McDonald's making a call like, fuck it. We're making 2 things tonight. And
Well, and also like if you've got people who like aren't trained, you know, like I don't know if you guys ever worked in food service, but it's like if you got people who are untrained, it's like you can teach anybody to make a McChicken.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, all right, welcome in recruits. We're gonna have to make 8,000 sandwiches tonight. Welcome to working at McDonald's.
You
Here's
sound
how
like
to
you
make
have
a cheese-
McDonald's managerial experience.
Dude.
No, but I do have friends who worked in McDonald's and managed them and just kind of detailed the nightmares that be. And I mean, nobody wants to work in fast food right now, and I totally get it. It's a goddamn nightmare, and no respect. It's like literally the punchline of the entire economy.
Yeah.
Like you are, if you are working at a fast food place, you are getting shit on by strangers all day long. The worst strangers, by the way, the strangers that can afford to eat at McDonald's, like me. And then you're just also the joke of literally everybody when it comes to the economy.
Dude, yeah, but here's the thing. I like, and it's like a bummer. Like last night was hilarious and terrible all at the same time. Where like you gotta be like the system's breaking down. I'm like, oh, the simulation's broken. But I think if they keep it up, you're gonna see. Like, what is a day of profits at McDonald's?
much
It's got to be
money. So much money.
insane. And then if they just get shut
I
down,
talked about this yesterday.
yeah. But if they shut down and the workers shut down for like 3-4 days in a row, I guarantee somebody at the top of McDonald's is going to be losing their goddamn mind. Yeah. And it's like, how much would it cost to, bump all of your employees up to $15 an hour? Probably like a month and a half worth of, McDonald's profits.
Yeah. Dude, people are always like, dude, you can't bump up the workers to $15 an hour because then we're all going to have to pay more for like a Big Mac. And it's like, dude, they could literally pay everybody $16 an hour and not have to raise their prices at all.
Also,
and it would affect their bottom line, but they'd still be pulling in billions and billions of dollars of profit.
Also, if you have a happy workforce, I guarantee you would see just
Productivity
a
goes
more
up.
and a more pleasant experience at a McDonald's.
Yeah, productivity goes up, the quality goes up, franchise does better.
Well, I mean, like, I hate to say it, but because not everywhere can be Zingerman's, but it's a prime example that like business schools teach, where it's like, all right, if you actually take care of your workforce and you take care of your employees, not
Aldi,
just as a
baby.
cog. What's up?
Aldi.
Yeah, Aldi, exactly. Like,
Not impossible. They just cut out all the other stupid bullshit.
right, and then they take care of their employees. Don't you get health insurance if you work at Aldi?
I think so.
Like,
they're a
after 90
European
days.
company.
They're what?
They're a European
Well,
company.
yeah, that sounds about
That
right.
makes
Taking care of
sense.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're a European company.
An American company's like, you
Um,
are free to work harder somewhere else to get health
And I
insurance.
wish I
I
liked
don't like
Aldi
that.
more
I don't
than
like
I
that
do.
socialist grocery store. It's not for me.
Yeah.
I shop at Kroger where everybody has no health insurance and is sad.
Yeah.
Bro, you ever
see
look a Kroger employee in the eyes?
No,
I can't do
no.
it.
Rumor
It
has it
is-
you'll turn to stone.
They are just cold and dead. I've had people where I wasn't even wearing a Kroger uniform think that I was working there,
Yeah.
and I think it's just because of how sad I look in
the
public.
cold dead eye. I've had it happen at Fresh Time before.
It's a
Where
compliment. It's because you're hot.
kinda, but
The Kroger thing is because I'm dead inside.
No, well, hang on. I've had it happen at a CVS before too. So it's like, well,
Okay.
but at Fresh Time it was an Amish guy, and he's like, "Hey, where's the ice cream?" And I was just like, "What?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Do you not work here?" I'm like, "No, but I know where the ice cream
Honest
is."
mistake.
Like,
Yeah.
I was like, "This guy's trying to get some devil cream. I can help you out."
It's kind of
Oh.
funny that I feel like I could go into any grocery store and just like off of muscle memory, I know where the ice cream's at.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
where's the freezer? Find the closest wall.
I thought you were
know?
going to say rob the place blind, because you could walk into any grocery store with a suit on and just tell an employee you're from corporate, and they would take you to the safe.
Yeah, you've got like 8 loaves of bread.
I'm from,
Yeah, I'm from corporate.
Just snag these.
But okay, here's something I wanted to tell you guys about because fucking around in the great big old west part of the country.
Is that what you were doing?
The mountains were fine. Yeah, it was fine. Mountains are cool. The Badlands are cool. Old Faithful's hilarious because it's a bunch of people who have type 2 diabetes waiting for a geyser to go off, and then they applaud. And I'm like, oh boy. But the Walmarts out in like Walmart country, if you will, people, and I mean this as a joke, but also not as hyperbolic. People get dressed up to go to the Walmart still. Like, and it's an event when it's like a 45-minute drive. It's like people go to church and then Walmart, and you're like, oh shit! Like, people aren't taking dumps in the middle of the halls at these Walmarts.
The thing about the Walmarts, especially in those areas, is like they're a vital part of the economy.
Yeah,
I mean, there is a community of people who are surviving on the Walmart. Like the people of Walmart shit.
yeah.
You know, people in Michigan will do this thing where they'll be in like suburbs with like, you know, they've got a Meijer, they've got a Target. Like growing up in Lake Orion, I think I had every major grocery store. I was a Kroger guy.
Yeah.
That's just
probably why you got the face.
I
You've been growing up with it.
well, yeah. I mean, I grew up in that depressing environment. But then, like, you go to Walmart and everybody's like, "Oh, everybody at Walmart's all wacky," and it's like, yes, but like, you go to one where like the community relies on it. That is
They
a
respect
Walmart.
it. Yeah.
I can't remember what like city it was, but some town in the south. They're like the town's like favorite Kroger closed, and so the townspeople got together outside of the Kroger and held a candlelight vigil for the Kroger.
Hell
And the
yeah.
funniest part is that there's another Kroger right across the street.
Do any of you
And
guys?
all the townspeople are like, yeah, but this Kroger was better. That Kroger fucking sucks. In
You know
comparison."
what? I get it though.
That was one of the comments I read was literally like, yeah, but the Kroger across the street fucking sucks.
Here's the thing about
Bad.
Here's the thing about Kroger, in my opinion. Like, if you go to a Meijer, and this is a very Michigan thing, but
Yeah.
like you go to a Meijer in a good area, it's nice.
Yep.
You go to a Meijer in a real bad area, still nice, just with cops.
yeah.
Like Meijers are consistent, whereas like Kroger, I think they kind of know their lane and they just kind of simmer into whatever community they find
It's-
themselves in. Some of the local Krogers, oh my god.
You go to Frandor versus the Okemos Kroger.
Yeah, that's what I'm
two
saying.
different experiences.
Well, and as
But-
someone who grew up in Rochester Hills Kroger, I'm like, it's a Xanadu.
But-
you know, it's an oasis.
Yeah. But Kroger is a food exclusive.
and it's cheap as hell.
Yeah, right.
It's
but
so good.
when you throw in the multi shops, like your Meijer, your Super Targets, your Walmarts, like the
What about
the
Big
Supercenters.
Kmart?
Is it
A
still
Big K.
around?
There's got to be one.
All right, I'll put it out there for our Kmart fans.
If you're a Kmart fan,
We're inclusive.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I used
we
to
do
fuck
2
with
hours on
Kmart,
grocery
and then
stores
it's
because, to
just-
be honest with you, I'm fucking with this.
What's
I'll
up?
talk about grocery stores.
Dude,
for
I
kinda
love a
hours.
good
Kind of miss
grocery store.
Kmart a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Kmart was the shit because it was so
Su-
fucking cheap.
Super K.
Remember
you
you
ever
used to
fuck
be able
with
to get a
Super K?
3 liter
a
of
Super
like
K.
a 3 liter
Big
of
K?
soda, dude.
Big K Cola. Yeah, I know
They're
what
like,
you're talking
yeah,
about.
we got 3 liters.
Dr.
of-
K.
I'm not gonna lie, it's an easy joke to make, but it's not even a joke. It's just a childhood observations. I remember they had Big K Cola, Big K whatever Sprite, and Big K Diet, but they would just have KKK colas.
Oh,
and
no.
even as a kid, I was like, nah, it's not. Somebody didn't think that through. I'm like, oh boy.
There
Or
was
they
a,
thought it through too
Yeah,
hard and
yeah.
were like, put it through.
Put
The-
it through. Push it.
when I worked up in Oscoda, we lived by there was a Kmart in town, and that was the only store.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like more expensive grocery stores, but Kmart was like the place. And as a Dr. Pepper fan, I used to drink Dr. Thunder.
Yes.
Yep.
Diet Dr. Thunder got me through like a couple summers.
They make Diet Dr. Thunder.
Diet Dr.
I was gonna
Thunder.
say it's mostly just like sodium and salt in
Yeah.
combination, so it's crazy.
Yeah.
Dr. Thunder, is it a play on Dr. Pepper?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
I think it's Kmart. I'm
Okay,
almost
okay,
positive.
okay.
Yeah, it's like their
It's
like
their thing.
generic Dr. Pepper.
All right.
And it's drinkable and it's real cheap.
I
That
like
was-
it.
did
It's like
somebody-
$1 for like a fucking 12 pack.
Okay.
So good.
All Kmarts are dirty too, which I kind of respect.
Yeah, all the floors are sticky in every
Dude,
Kmart I've
That's
ever
it's
why
been
my
to.
immune system is
I
so
mean, Nate
fucking
Bargatze has the joke where it's just like some of the lights aren't even on. It's like, are you guys open? Like, yeah, we're open. Like, you gonna turn all
Yeah.
the lights on?
I would
It looks-
agree with Elena. It definitely boosts your immune system as a child to
Yeah.
be walking
Yeah.
through a Kmart with your parents.
Dude, so I grew up in the like Metro Detroit mostly, like Detroit proper. But what I remember about when I lived in Detroit proper as a kid is like we had to like drive out to grocery stores, like
Yeah.
it was an event again. and then which is its own problem. But then I remember when we lived in the suburbs, like, yeah, it's like Trevor was saying, you got like too many options. And when you have too many options, that's when you get like people at Walmart. Because it's just like, you know, the Walmart on 13 Mile or whatever is like, oh yeah, you go there and it's an event. Like you see a gaggle of people wearing all kinds of different tatters. And
Someone's committing child abuse.
Oh yeah.
That's how I
every
feel
single
about the
time.
South Cedar Mire.
It's not Walmart if you're not abusing your kids.
Have you guys been to that one?
Which
South
one?
Cedar Mire?
The South, the Mire in like South Lansing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That one's fun.
Oh,
I had
yeah.
a guy
I
follow
work
me
by that
around
one.
that one.
That's the one, Trev, is that the one you were referring to where it's like, yeah, they keep it pretty level, but there are cops.
I was in the one that I thought about, I don't remember exactly where it was, but it was in not too far from downtown Detroit. So the only reason because I was in downtown Detroit, I needed to go to a Meijer, and it was the closest one. And it was like rough area.
Yeah.
And then like as soon as I got into like this kind of rough area where like you're like conscious, you know,
yeah.
as soon as I got into that goddamn Meijer, other than like the 5 cops that were just walking around, I was like, oh, I've been here before. This is the same goddamn Meijer. This is the same Meijer as all the rest of the Meijers.
Dude,
I knew where everything was.
Oh,
I
well,
was like, oh, I need
that's
bread. It's right
incredible.
over there. I've never been here. I know where the bread is because this is the same goddamn Meijer.
That's by design.
Gotta
though.
go get
Oh,
some
of
orange
course.
juice.
Yeah,
Sup,
yeah.
blood? Going to get some orange
I'm not
juice.
gonna lie. Does it bug you when you walk into one of those stores and the layout's different than your go-to one? Because I'm like, God damn it, this isn't.
Yeah, who's
It
fucking
really
running
fucks
this
my
thing?
head up when I go into a grocery store and it's different than another grocery store I'm like used to. It fucks my head up, dude.
Yeah, like again, not even joking. I kind of go like, I'll walk around and be like, you guys, this grocery store is set up wrong, and then other people are like, well, this is my grocery store, and I think it's fucking right. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
well, this is how
I'll
wars
just
start.
go up to an employee if that happens right away and just be like, excuse me, could you please help me find, and I'll just rattle off my entire list.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they like,
You know, just
do
walk
work
around the
here.
store with me and keep me company a little bit.
I don't trust any grocery store that doesn't situate their frozen food aisle like against the wall. Like you ever go to a lot of the Meijers here, they'll have like frozen food aisles just in the middle, and I'm like, ugh.
So you like coolers on the outside?
Yeah, the
Frozen
walls
coolers,
should
yeah.
be coolers.
Okay.
Like dairy is back left corner for
Of
me.
course, yeah.
If the dairy is not in the back left corner, I'm like, I'm out of here.
Okay, fair.
Where else do you
enough.
like the people who they'll just keep the dairy in the middle, and you're like, that's not where it
Well,
goes.
here's the thing. A lot of the places they try to do fresh food up front, like, hey, get this stuff. I'm like, nah, I'm
Look
starting
at our
in the back.
bakery.
I'm starting in the back. I'm gonna get all the garbage, and then I put a couple of things of carrots on top. Be like, huh, this is a
Health
pretty
food,
healthy
baby.
cart.
Little
Yeah.
Marzetti's,
Yeah,
just eat
yeah.
that with a spoon.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
But
a good Marzetti's joke. I don't know if anybody's a Marzetti fan
am
in
a
the chat.
I don't even know.
Is it cheese?
It's a like a vegetable
Fancy
dip.
dressing.
Oh,
They also make veggie dip.
okay. You guys ever just walk around like a Whole Foods or like a Trader Joe's
Can't
and just
afford it.
feel good? No, I know you can't buy anything. But you just walk around and it's like, oh, all right, someday. Like,
No.
I'll go into a Whole Foods and just take a walk.
So
I
this is
might-
what it
Even if
feels
I was
like.
yeah.
rich, I would probably just buy healthy food at Meijer.
I see. I'll tell you,
random food from
there's a
Kroger.
difference. There is a difference. I've
Between
like split,
organic and not organic. Yeah, of course.
not
there
even
is.
not even organic, but just like the level of food quality is ridiculous. And like, granted, you're paying like 3 times as much, but like, I'll just feel better. Like you can tell the difference of like overly processed stuff where you're like, oh, how's this meat like $5 for 2 pounds, and then you go somewhere and spend like $11 on half a pound. And you're like, all right, but I don't know. You just eat it. I'm like, I don't feel like stomach aches or weird shit. Like, have you ever just eaten a can of corned beef hash? You're like, that was tasty, and then like 30 minutes later, you're like,
Well,
"Ugh."
that's not like
I-
healthy.
I know, but
option that I
I'm
would
just
get
saying,
from
like, it's
Kroger.
like the heavily processed stuff. But then I'll do that with like Meijer's Select beef, like ground beef, and I'm like, yeah, if you eat a little bit, you're fine. But if you like make it your meal throughout the day or the week, I've felt sluggish.
Where did your
before, where-
parents shop growing up? Because
Uh,
I've always had overprocessed meat, and I think my body would reject anything else.
just used to it? No, we went
We've
to.
always had like pork
Yeah, I feel
chops.
fine, dude. I guess my
fucking-
gut health's just better than
like-
yours.
We
dude.
went to.
Sorry.
We went to.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah, you
we
guys.
got a weak gut.
The microbes are probably
My
incredible.
biomes are fucking out of the top notch
I-
biomes.
I-
dude.
Here's the thing: I can eat that all the time. And dude, I am a Meijer guy. Like I go into Meijer, I'm like, this is my fucking store. But it's like I'm telling you the difference. Like when I went to Whole Foods and I was like, oh, like this is why
Well, you
rich
can
people
tell
eat like
in the
that.
meat for sure, because like my parents
Yeah.
like later on in my life, like they started buying like half a cow from like people around, and like
Yeah.
just having a cow that grew up around you.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. Well,
like so much better.
It's also probably the way to do it because sometimes
Yeah.
when you're eating ground beef at a store, you're like, how many cows are in this?
Yeah,
I
how
feel
many
like
baby
rich
cows?
people. I feel like rich people eat like that because not only does it make you feel better like physically, but like it is also just another way to flex on the poor people.
For
around
sure.
you.
For sure, man.
Do you remember the
Like-
first time as a kid? And again, I ate garbage food mostly, but you'd go to like your friend's house, and their mom would make you sandwiches,
Yeah.
and you'd get like the bread was like from Whole Foods, and it's like 200% whole grain.
It's got, like,
Yeah.
seeds in
They
it.
put extra
Yeah.
grain in it, and it's like sandy.
Got oatmeal on top. You're like, what the fuck is
Yeah,
this?
you're like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah. Yeah.
You made me a peanut butter and jelly on a war crime
Yeah.
of a piece of bread. And it's like literally like Elena's saying, it's crunchy.
Yeah, it's
You're
so
like
good.
the peanut butter's crunchy, which I can look past, but the bread is also
There's like
crunchy.
seeds getting stuck in your
Oh.
molars.
Yes.
Like in your cavities from your.
Bro,
'cause
you
you're
ever
making
have
You're like, did you
shitty food
finish
at home.
cooking this, or did
Yeah.
you just dig up the bread? I don't know how you cook bread. Do you
Bread,
you
though.
grow
Gluten-free
bread,
bread.
you dig it up? I don't know.
Have you had gluten-free bread?
I have had
like a
gluten-free
That shit's
bread.
like
Yes.
eating sand.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's
Yeah.
disgusting.
I-
Have you ever
They
have
should
it,
put the
Luke?
No.
gluten back
I'm
in.
gonna get a loaf of gluten-free bread so we can all just have a PB and J.
Uh-huh.
And then it's like you know the Dementors from Harry Potter that just suck the fucking joy out of everything.
Yeah.
It's like that happened to a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Oh no. Oh no. I yeah, man, I'm talking about gut health, the gluten-free stuff. I think maybe 5% of our population actually has some type of
Celiac disease, yeah.
celiac disease, and then everybody else it's like I'm gluten-free. I'm like,
That's
yeah, but you don't have
absolutely
to be.
it.
Like you
That's
don't have to
like
be.
2%
all
of the
hot
actual
chicks.
population really had like my friend in high school Tony, his mom and dad both actually had it. Like they would order like a lot of things and like just pick certain things off it 'cause they
Right,
couldn't eat
right.
the gluten on it. But like yeah, I would guarantee like 2% of the population.
Yeah, I
has,
remember
like,
growing up, there was one family friend that had celiac disease.
yeah,
You're
and then
like, "What's
everybody
that?"
else,
Like,
it's like a fucking young person trend to just kind of feel good about yourself and
No,
be
yeah,
like,
it's like a hot girl thing. They're literally like, yeah, well, I have celiac, so
gluten-free.
I'm
When I-
celiac.
Oh,
That's what they say. Like,
Jesus.
I'm celiac.
add it to the list of things you can have. That's like, I'm not even gonna get into
Just
it.
so they can say like if they're bloated, they're like, well, I had gluten.
Yeah, one of
It's
my
a fitness and health craze, dude.
Oh,
Go
well,
ahead,
you know what's
Trevor,
funny?
sorry.
Though? Yeah,
I didn't mean to cut you off, dog.
Hey man, it's okay. Things are tough for white men in comedy. I was gonna say one of my best childhood friends was like a real celiac guy,
My
Yeah.
grandpa.
and he would eat gluten, and he wouldn't get bloated or like feel bad. He would legitimately get vertigo so intense he would throw up.
Ugh.
That's what like a real
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
food
yeah.
There's, like,
allergy looks like.
There's like different like reactions you can have too, because
Yeah.
my ex-boyfriend used to date this girl that had celiac disease, and he gave her fucking chips that he thought were okay, and her whole fucking neck and face and throat started swelling up, and he had to find an EpiPen and stab her.
Jesus,
Dude, being gluten
Christ.
friend
And so-
for my buddy,
So when
nightmare.
fucking Faison has celiac disease, so when we went to like New
Of
York,
course he does.
the dude literally couldn't eat. He would like not eat for like 10 hours until we could find a halal guys. Because we walked into this one
Hang
place. and
on,
he goes,
wait. You were at
could
New York and
find
it took you
halal
10
everywhere.
hours to find a halal
Walk down
guy?
the street.
No, I
Yeah.
just mean that like
Say.
Hey, buddy.
no, I just mean that like we would all eat pizza and forget that Faison hadn't fucking eaten because we'd just
man.
stop at a pizza shop like right
Well, it
next
just
to
sounds
whatever.
like you
Yeah,
guys
you
are
guys are eating
bad
that
friends.
and
haram.
then we'd have to, then it'd be
Yeah.
like 10 hours had passed and you'd have to go
a good
get
joke.
something.
I
but-
feel like
But I
that
was
might have
worried
been a
about
by design thing for Faison. Though you're like, oh, sorry, buddy, you didn't eat yet. Looks like you're sluggish and tired and can't talk as much.
As someone who only eats haram food,
Yeah.
I can't relate.
Well,
It was funny because we walked into one of the places that wasn't a halal guy's, but it was the same type of food. And he goes, "Do you have anything gluten free?" And the guy goes, "What's gluten?" And Faison goes, "I'm not eating here." And
Right.
I fucking laughed. It was
jeez.
good.
Damn.
But I was severely worried.
Bro,
about the
imagine because he's from Pakistan, right? Dude, imagine trying to be gluten free in like a fucking
Well, they got a
tougher country.
Yeah, I mean they've got a lot of like I mean, everything
a
he
lot
got
of
at
stuff
Halal Guys
is-
was gluten.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Rice.
a lot of stuff that is naturally gluten.
No, I know a lot of stuff is naturally
Yeah,
gluten free. I guess our Western diet is also just dog shit. So
Yeah, I was
everything
about
has
to say,
everything has gluten
Kind
in
of
it.
wheeling
so
back to McDonald's, like our Western diet. I'm like, you go up
Yeah.
to McDonald's, be like,
that's
oh,
something
you
I didn't
eat
really factor in
gluten-free?
right
Like,
now. Yeah, you're
I
right.
wonder
Yeah.
if that has anything to do with if where he grew up has anything to do with why he has celiac disease. Like, because if he grew up in Pakistan eating food that doesn't have a lot of gluten,
Yeah, but not a lot of
Develop a
exposure to it.
gluten
Yeah, and then
intolerance.
you come. Yeah. But just kind of wanted to wrap. Yeah, go for it.
All I was gonna say is I think kind of the problem with a lot of food allergies is like sometimes the reactions aren't as like outwardly, so you can just
Yeah.
kind of say whatever you want,
Yeah.
and that's how you get these people who say they're celiacs or whatever. I have the same problem with like eating pussy. I'm allergic to it. I get bloated.
Yeah.
So I tell women that I say, sorry, I can't do it. I'll my stomach will hurt.
Yeah.
So and they just think I'm being selfish. It's like whoa.
It's
you know?
actually yeah.
Yeah,
I
I've
mean,
got a disease.
I hear a lot of guys have that actually.
Yeah, I have the same disease. I get all bloated and just makes me feel bad, so I
I
kind
don't
of just
have my
don't do it.
EpiPen.
Yeah,
I
DJ
can't.
Khaled has that, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
here's the thing. I love to do it, but I just can't. So,
Looks tasty.
unfortunately,
Looks
I would
good.
love to do it for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Just really get after it. But
See, I have the
unfortunately,
opposite disease where if I don't eat enough, I just pass out. Like when a
it's like that
roofer-
movie Crank where you have to like keep your
Yeah.
heart
You
rate
know,
up.
like-
It's like if I don't eat
You know,
pussy
like a
every
roofer
day,
is
I'll
like-
die.
when like a roofer is like it's just really it's like the middle of July and they're just they're just feeling like they're getting heat stroke and then you just
Mhm.
eat a banana and you just immediately feel better. That's exactly how it is for
Yeah,
me when I
that's-
eat box,
that makes a lot of sense.
munch
Don't
box,
say box.
Munch box.
Chomp box.
I don't know why it's.
chomp
Eat-
clam.
I don't know why box.
Eating box
bothers
is
me.
hilarious.
Pussy is fine.
No, box is a way
Eating
better.
box
Little,
one.
little
is-
clam munching.
It's gross.
Ugh.
Kid,
I'm just desensitized to pussy, I think.
I don't know,
Dog,
but
my fucking grandfather last Christmas called pussy a snapper, and I was like, I've never heard that term before, but that's what I'm calling it forever.
One time my
There's not a
dad
good way to
called
say
an
it.
ass a cutter, and that
A
stuck
what?
with me. A cutter.
cutter.
an ass
Like a
or
turd
pussy?
cutter?
Yeah, turd
Ass,
cutter.
a
Yeah.
turd cu-
But
when
he
you
just-
said,
he
"Look at
just
the
said
cutter
cutter."
on her,"
Dude,
Look at the
I-
cutter
like,
on her.
okay.
Dude, I've had like it's always the 45 and up like headliners that
Wild
are like
expressions.
rocking the road still, and they're like, oh man, look
I'm
at
gonna
the
start
jumper
bringing
on
those
that.
back.
Or
I'm
like,
just gonna start using them unironically.
cutter,
Yeah.
Just like phrases like that, you know, that like an old man would say.
Dumper is one of the
Dumper's
funniest
so
ones.
Dumper's
Dumper?
disrespectful, dog.
Dumper?
Dumper makes me giggle though.
It
Whenever
does make me
hear
giggle.
an old man be like, "Oh my God, look at the dumper!" I'm like, I gotta walk away.
There's
I'm like,
nothing
God,
sexual
Dude,
I
old
love
men
that
are the
word.
grossest.
Yeah,
fucking-
One
yeah.
time
dude.
this
like, how
old
do-
man called his eyes his peepers. He said, "You're the prettiest young lady I ever laid my peepers on."
Hey, at least he's
Put it
pretty
on an open
forthcoming
mic,
with
and
what
I
he
was
Yeah.
does
like,
with
that
them.
was sweet. And I like touched his shoulder.
he came in for a hug real hard though. He's like, "There's my peepers." He wasn't talking about his eyeballs.
Goddamn.
You're the prettiest girl I've laid my peepers on.
I'd
Sometimes,
like to lay my peepers on.
sometimes I just watch the way that old men talk to and about women, and I'm like, it makes total sense how World War II happened.
Yeah.
I'm like, it was a long time coming. The economy's fucked up. The earth is on fire.
Yeah.
All these things are, results of this older generation just butt fucking the planet. And then you see how they talk about women, and you're like, nah, it checks out.
Yeah.
Dude, working at the gym is hilarious because I'll sometimes just like watch older dudes, and then I'll keep my eye on them and just like wait for like a fucking
Oh, God,
hot
yeah.
girl to pass, and they're just immediately just like
Staring, drooling, dude.
my old coworker. His name's Chris. He had like 8 or 9 pictures of this same old man gym member just staring at one of our female members' asses.
Dude, we
Like,
have
so
videos of
obvious.
it. He's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he's just like watching.
Yeah.
My funniest thing is like when I was personal training and I'd be like training a chick and there would be just a dude. I'm like, hey, bro, like what? Because
focus on the session,
well,
man.
no, because the gym is laid out. Do you do certain body groups, right? And then I just see a guy like, what are you doing? Like traps, legs, and arms today? And
Yeah.
it just so they could go on the machine to watch the girl I was.
He's
training.
working out neck.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, dude, cranking that neck, dude. Neck and forearm
Also, I
training.
hate how that gym's laid out because like all the mirrors make it like you could fucking creep on anybody in that gym if you want.
That's gyms everywhere.
It just enables.
that's why the mirrors
no,
are
I
in the
design,
gym.
baby.
Yeah.
It's just odd.
Dude, when they finished putting weights down in the first gym, everybody was like, "Oh, this is pretty good." And then the one guy who's kind of like just a little too sweaty without working out was like, "What if we put mirrors fucking everywhere in here?" Like, oh, all right, yeah, I guess that's
It's
good.
for my form,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Try to pay attention to
for
it.
the spank bank form.
I watch women at the gym because they have better form, and so I'm like, oh, what can I learn from them?
Yeah,
You know,
I'm trying to get a cutter like yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work on my.
Not
cutter.
admiring your ass, I'm
Yeah.
admiring your form.
Yeah,
Trying to learn how to squat like you.
Solid form.
I'm about to hop on the Booty Blaster Platinum.
Yeah, how has it been now that the COVID restrictions are just
Fucking awful, dude.
yeah,
What do you think?
just through the roof? Nobody in there gives
Nobody
a fuck.
gives a fuck. People are arguably the worst they've ever been. Last 8 times I've gone to vacuum the floor, I swear to God, I find gum on the floor every day.
This is
Oh,
the
jeez.
third
I'm like,
time I'm hearing
who
about
the
this from
fuck
you.
spits gum on the floor in a public setting? I just don't. I can't. My brain doesn't compute when I find it because I'm just like, let me catch the person doing this. I will literally go up to them and just be like, "Hey, did your mom raise you how to do that? Did she teach you to do that? Because I fucking really doubt it, bro."
No, this
Dude, the
is
pandemic took people's shame away.
Yeah.
I
It
have
really
seen,
did.
I have seen so many people do so much head ass shit and then shamelessly.
Yeah.
I had a dude the other day cut me off in traffic so blatantly. I mean, and I laid on. I'm not a horn guy. As I grow up, I'm more of a horn guy. But I have
as
that
you're right,
confidence
as an
now.
aging male who's
Yeah.
not, yeah.
So, but I lay on the horn, and then he gets way over. I mean, he's sideways in front of me. It was an aggressive cutoff, and so
Like a T-boneable? Like that's how much he was
it was
cutting
like
you off?
this.
It was
Okay.
fishtail.
I mean,
alright.
it was bad.
Okay.
And so I lay on the horn, and then there was a red light, so we stopped right next to each other.
Yeah.
And it's a white guy in a nicer car, and I'm just staring at him, and he's just
Yeah, he's
Arms
feeling
on
it.
the wheel,
He's feeling it.
eyes straight forward. He knows exactly what he did,
Yeah.
and he's just sitting there, and I'm like, I'm not leaving this light until you look at me,
I know, it's
just
like-
so you
Dude.
know.
Have you
And then he looks over and he goes, and he gives me one of these.
a woogity?
He gives me one of these, and to be honest with you, I wasn't even mad
Yeah.
anymore. I was like, okay, good enough.
I've done it and had it done too, where I've just shrugged and been like, I'm sorry. And then the person is either like, fuck you, or they're like,
I had a guy get out of his car the other day. He yelled at me.
Dude, I'll
I'm a
tell you
get out
this
of my
much.
car, and I am a get out of my
Dude,
car.
I want
A knock on
somebody
your
to get
window,
out of the
yell
car
at your
if they're
Plain-
so bad.
I am
You
not.
guys think the road rage is going up? The with
Yeah.
COVID opening up and all the pent up aggression, dude. Plane traveling already pretty stressful. Add a mask onto stale air and people being pretty over it. I swear to God, I almost saw 3 flights on the fucking plane I was on coming home yesterday. Where okay, you guys know plane etiquette, and I almost started one. By the way, I was like, I shut up and just was like, I want to get the fuck out of here. But you guys know plane etiquette. When you get up, you go row by row to get the fuck out. Everybody, when you land, does the unclick, and they're like, oh, let's race to get our shit from the bins above us. But you still
not
got to
me.
wait to get out.
Until it's your turn.
First of all,
Yeah.
I never rush to get up because I'm like, there's 47 people in front of me.
The
Fuck
flight was
it.
already 3 hours.
Yeah.
What is
yeah.
2 minutes gonna do to you?
It's people have to piss. Let's be honest. That's
Piss in the bag.
it's yeah, but everybody is holding it because they're like, I don't want to get up because the turbulence will break my neck in the bathroom, and
Yeah.
they're just sitting there strapped in. It's fine.
Happen?
Yeah, plenty of people die in
Okay.
bathrooms in the sky. Nobody talks about it. It's bad
They
press.
leave them in there.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, if we lost another one due to sky pissing. But this guy from all the way back has a kid. He fucking gets up and just starts aggressively walking forward.
I feel like
And,
if you
like,
have a kid, you're allowed
Well,
to.
he Billy Zaned it like Titanic type of shit, where he's like, "I've got a child," and
Yeah,
was trying
yeah.
to get out of the fucking
It's
plane.
unmasked. He's
Right,
holding it like
right.
a weapon.
Dude.
He's like,
He's
he's
holding
fucking
it
hasn't
Dude.
been vaccinated.
Dude, he was playing it off like, "Oh, my kid's got a shit," and I saw this kid just playing in his
He's
dad's
like,
arm.
doesn't have to shit.
I was like, "No," and the guy I was sitting next to seething pissed. And I don't want to say he was a military guy, but he had the watch on the inside of the wrist. So I'm like, nah, like he's
that a
either
military
a
thing?
try hard or what?
Is that a military thing?
He's like
It,
looking
it
at his
used to
watch,
be.
like,
Now it's a cosplay thing for dudes who are paramedics. But
Why?
he's just
Why do you
getting
do that?
pissed.
it's like a rifle thing or like a I don't know tactical thing. I have no idea.
I
don't like going
like this.
yeah, I wanna go try- like this. try That it way I out can for-
fucking
uppercut someone.
I
I
know
think-
what time it is when I uppercut them.
I can check. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know what
Dude,
time it is when I uppercut.
I think here's the thing. It's a tactical thing, but I'm like, at what point in a firefight are you holding your rifle and be like, better glance at the time? We've been
just
here
getting
too
super-
long.
How hot is it?
I don't. Yeah, like what else do you? I don't know,
He's
man.
just getting super impatient at his seat, staring at his watch, like,
Dude,
it's already 1,600 hours.
So
this is bullshit.
he did this. He let the Billy Zane guy like get off the boat early. He fucking put his arm like in the aisle like nobody else. I'm getting up before the rest of this plane, and I was like, all right, man. Like you're in the aisle seat. I'm sitting middle. Not gonna tell you how to direct traffic on this plane, but it is wild to the airports right now feel like a Mad Max movie where you're like, oh, okay, and there's actively people just shouting at each other.
It's crazy how a culture war while we were all locked inside for a year led to people being kind of tense.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Because like, again, there are people straight up lying about being vaccinated because I'll hear people say it where they're just like I'm vaccinated, and then in the when they sit down, they're like, I'm not.
Which
I'm like,
arm?
good one. Like,
Anytime someone's
Yeah.
anytime someone's vaccinated, I'm gonna just ask them like, oh yeah, what arm did they put it in?
yeah. Yeah.
Because if you haven't been vaccinated, you might not know.
Check this out.
What arm did
Ask-
they put it in?
What ass cheek they
I don't
put
wanna
it in.
I don't remember.
Yours.
Yeah,
I do know. I know
remember
exactly
from
what
all the
Trevor and
times
I-
got
yeah, I know.
vaccinated
Yeah,
already.
me either.
I do need
But-
to get that taken care of.
But okay, so there's that. But then you sent the article about people like Ohio is doing a $1 million
this
lottery.
is incredible. So Ohio put up $5 million of what I'm assuming is taxpayer money. 'Cause it's
has to
coming
be.
from their state budget.
Nice.
And it's like 5 lucky people in Ohio, if they're vaccinated, are going to win $1 million. And they did this in an attempt to get more people to get vaccinated. And my first response was like, dude, it's Ohio. If you wanted everybody to get vaccinated, you could have just offered everybody a tin of dip. Like,
Or
what
if,
the
yeah,
fuck?
yeah,
I was gonna say NASCAR
50
tickets.
bucks, yeah.
NASCAR yeah.
Yeah,
A LeBron jersey, fucking anything.
yeah, no, a signed LeBron jersey. Oh, we got
Hey, pups.
we got puppy invaded just quick. No, man, that blows my mind though, because $1 million won't even cover the medical expenses.
The last line of the article made me die of laughter. It just says, guys,
Puppy attack.
You know what? Here's kind of a hot take. Mike DeWine, he's a Republican, right?
I'm imagining.
I'm fairly certain he's a Republican, but he's kind of one of the ones that I almost kind of like him.
There's
Ohio has a lot of good Republican, Ohio has a lot of fine Republican governors.
there you go. Well, yeah, because he was fighting the good fight all throughout the pandemic.
Yeah, he was.
Like there were other Democratic governors like surrounding Ohio, being like, "Listen, we are fucking not doing great right now. We need to be in this together." And he begrudgingly, but still was like, "All right."
He's
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
John Kasich, pretty
Yeah.
fine
Is that
guy.
Kentucky?
No, he's
That's Ohio.
He's
Oh,
Ohio
okay.
too. I liked John
The
Kasich.
last line of this article is incredible. It's about people who actually win the money. It says, all winnings are subject to tax.
Oh yeah, of course.
I
Yeah,
was like,
they're gonna
like,
get.
that's so fun. So really, the state's only giving out about $3.5 million.
Yeah, they're gonna get that money
Yeah.
back. Like, but I don't know, man. Is the other thing is, it's sad, but probably gonna work.
It is working.
It already
says.
worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, they saw like a 6% spike in like the age demographic that they were like really shooting for, which is older people.
It blows my mind. I went home. I don't know, man. I was talking vaccines with my dad because it's like, you know, my mom and dad both got it. They're in the demographic where I'm like, yeah, if you guys get COVID, you might fucking die. Like this is not a
Best case
joke.
scenario. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like, okay, come on, move along.
Oh no, inheritance.
Oh, Menendez 19 killed my parents.
no.
But I don't know, man. Like it kind of I guess this is like a shitty way. It just bums me out that that's what we have to do as a society to like move along and get this done. Because I'm like, man, if you weren't like about the vaccine before, but then you're like, I could get $1 million. I'm like, you're a lab rat for money then.
Yeah. Could
Like,
you imagine if when the polio vaccine came out, they had to offer people incentives to go get vaccinated for fucking? They didn't. People were just like, oh man.
Yeah, let me get to. Well, I think it goes back to a joke Zach used to make, but it's pretty dead on. Is like, it unfortunately COVID wasn't like visceral enough for some people. Like
If COVID was like Ebola and it spread the way it did, and people are just fucking bleeding out of their eyeballs.
just one thing. If COVID made you like everything it does, plus like you bleed out of your eyes a little bit, people would be like, yeah, let me go ahead and get that vaccine.
According to an article that they just kind of made fun of this on SNL, but like apparently it's been shrinking people's dicks.
Really?
Yeah.
Definitely shrunk my
About
dick.
time.
Yeah. It
mean,
made
some-
mine bigger.
My dick's
dude.
only 7 inches long now.
Oh yeah,
Soft.
that's about half for you now, huh?
Oh.
Went from 14 to 7.
Yeah, man.
Damn, dude.
I got a 7-inch dick, and it's honestly the problem is that when it was 14 inches, women are like, oh, this is too big and perfect, and now it's 7, and it's even better,
Yeah.
and it's just the perfect mid-range, economy dick, and it suits too many people. It's no longer
Bad boy, Michigan.
Now Trevor has
Michigan
all this
bad.
pussy he can't eat.
right.
Yeah.
I know, and everybody's you have such a
Too
perfect
much
penis, and
Is it gluten free?
is it gluten free? I sure hope so.
Gluten free penis?
Trevor's
Based on the
dick-
yeast infections, you wouldn't assume so. That's
Dude,
a fun
Trevor's
little
dick
gluten
is also
joke, huh?
vaccinated.
Yeah.
Yeast has gluten, yeast infection. I'm bombing. It's fine.
Okay, I was
You're
trying to
right,
riff as
man.
well. I was
You're
trying
trying.
trying to throw lines.
I've
at
never
you,
seen
so
a guy swing at one pitch 3 times.
I have.
I'm like,
I do it repeatedly.
Uh,
I saw this thing. Apparently, like the flu was like almost wiped out this year. It was like not
part
even
of the
3,000
conspiracy,
cases.
man.
And so it's like you got a country that the measures that we took almost eradicated the flu, and it kind of only stopped COVID to the point where not everybody died.
right. I'm a little bit worried too because like I've got the vaccine, but there's already breakout cases. They're talking about, it's going to keep mutating. And I think what's going to really fuck us up is the people that lie about being vaccinated and then just get back out there. Most of them will probably be fine. But
then
then
one of them's gonna get super COVID.
Right, that's what I'm saying. One of them's gonna be
COVID 20.
patient 0 for the new one where you're like, oh cool, this one actually does make you bleed from the eyes. Like,
Yeah.
oh shit.
Hey, what's wrong with the little bleeding from the eyes? I fucking hate these goggles. That's what we're
Yeah,
gonna get.
yeah.
It's
I fucking hate
Everybody-
these
I'm
goggles.
not wearing these goggles.
Yeah. If I start bleeding from the eyes, I'll just walk it off.
If I wasn't supposed to bleed from the eyes, why would I be able to do it?
It's just like the fucking flu.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
a little eye bleeding. I fucking millennials these days
Hey,
are so.
if God didn't want me to bleed from the eyes, why'd he give me 2 of them?
I used to walk to school in the snow with blood coming out of my eyes, 8 miles, and now these fucking millennials, and not even a little eye bleed.
It's always the millennials too. These fucking goddamn
Just limbs
kids.
start falling off. They're like, I got through school with 2 of my limbs.
I never had legs when I walked to school.
I had to walk to school uphill with no legs in the snow with blood coming out of my eyes.
now we're talking-
and COVID.
And now we're talking to a guy who never got the polio vaccine.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just going
An
for it.
anti-Polish.
Yeah, anti-polio.
Anti-Polish.
Anti-Polish.
I love how old people they always blame everything on millennials because they're so old that like to them they're like these fucking kids.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, man. I don't like millennials either.
Yeah, they're the
Yeah,
doctors.
I'm part of that generation, and you guys are cringe as fuck a lot of the
I
time.
think it's
Us.
mostly millennials,
yeah.
and then Trevor, you're the only actual Gen Z we have in the room.
I think you and I are both on the border. We're
I
borders.
guess you're only
Hey,
younger than
you're
me.
born-
Zillennials.
96.
Zillennials? Ugh.
Zillennials.
I was gonna say
That's
it.
such
Now
a
I'm glad
millennial
you
thing to
did.
say.
I know.
I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
man.
that's the
I
most
was literally
millennial
gonna
shit
say
ever.
it, and then he said it, and I was like, "Thanks for taking that heat."
yeah. I don't know, man. Here's the thing. I've seen Gen Z kids, and I've seen Trevor. I'm like, I mean, you can say you're Gen Z on paper, but you are a boomer.
I
Uh-oh.
prefer the term.
Yeah, you're a
cusper.
you're a
It sounds
curmudgeon.
cool.
Trevor.
What's a
You're
Gen Z
suc-
boomer?
I don't know. You're a
A
successful
Zoomer.
insurance salesman,
You're
though.
a Zoomer.
Yeah.
Like I have not met one other Gen Z kid doing
You've
that.
come home like the last 3 days from work, and you're like, Dude, it's been so hard, man.
Yeah, dude. You
That's
come
the
home.
most Gen Z shit I've ever heard.
Yeah, I want to get you a sport coat that you could just toss over your shoulder and hold with one finger as you walk in the door, being like, another tough day, but there's food on the table.
You just had this look on your face. You're like, man, if I had kids on top of this, holy fuck.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kids for me.
Yeah. Whereas like another person your age is like, I started a kombucha company. I'm like, that seems
That's
about
Gen
right.
Z.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's about right.
I mean, I'm only doing that because I want to play capitalism.
Hell yeah,
Anyways,
man. Hey, I'm not knocking it, but it is the most boomer thing you can do. Is like, I want to make more money than anybody to live comfortably forever.
People born in the mid '90s aren't millennials or Gen Z people.
What are we?
It's just you're born right in the middle of it, so it's like you don't relate to millennials or Gen Z kids.
Oh, cool. Less of an identity.
Yeah.
Less of an idea.
There's like gap years in between generations, but the thing is, as you age, you fall pretty hard into one category or another.
Well, like TikTok is after me. Like
Yeah.
I'm pre-TikTok, but
Yeah.
I'm post a lot of like the stupid millennial bullshit. Like millennial. I mean, we have friends who are just quintessential millennials, and like some of the shit that they laugh at, I'm like,
well, okay, so I'll give you an idea of like
Fucking love the
the
office,
the
man.
generation gap.
exactly, dude. The Office is the most millennial shit I've ever seen. It was like pure millennial, but it had just enough quirk where people are like, "Ooh, I'm original."
So you have millennials who are now like in their 40s,
Yeah.
like elder millennials,
And still poor because the government fucked
right,
them
right.
and the economy is broken.
So you have like millennials in their 40s, and then you have millennials in their late 20s, and then
Mhm.
it's like you have Gen Z kids in their like early to mid-ish 20s, but then there's like Gen Z kids who are still very much in high school. I'm like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
how a generation's gonna go. You're gonna have subdivides, but
I think what it
Oh.
is like millennials. They watched like you had boomers who were kind of everything that's wrong with the country, and then they gave birth to like Gen X, and Gen X is quiet. They don't chit chat very much.
boomers,
They do in
boomers,
their house.
yeah.
That's Gen X.
Yeah,
I
I
was
mean,
gonna say boomers
Talk
made
a
Gen
lot.
X and kind of millennials.
my mom is a
Right.
young boomer. My dad is an old Gen X.
Okay.
But Gen X, it's like okay. Then they pumped out some millennials, and they're like, "Here's what they told us to do."
yeah,
And then so the millennials all did that, and then they just got butt fucked by society for
It's just
20
been,
years.
Like, for like the past 4 generations, like parenting and everything's gotten like just progressively worse and worse. And now we're at this point, and they're all like expecting it. Like they're like, why don't you guys have this shit figured out? And it's like, because you guys did a terrible job of raising us, and
Yeah.
so on. And so like your parents did a shitty job raising you.
yeah.
Boomers really did ruin fucking everything, dude.
They just got a lot of opportunities.
They
and,
they
like,
had everything handed to them. They were fucking selfish, and they kind of it's everything they did just kind of led to this shit. that we're dealing with today.
$150 for a college education.
Yeah, yeah.
Why can't you do this? It's only $20,000
You literally used to be able to just walk into like a GM factory and just ask for a job and then be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's why fucking boomers like look at millennials and Gen Zers and like when we're struggling, they're like, why don't you guys just go get a job? And we're like,
Yeah.
because that's not how it fucking works anymore, dude.
Well, I'd say get a career.
Yeah.
Like that's the other thing is like we going back to McDonald's. Like there's
I was
jobs
about to
out
bring it
there.
back,
Yeah, there's
just like where
jobs.
it's like the like. I'm sorry for cutting
Yeah,
you off,
no,
but
you're
like
good.
I'm not sorry.
No, it's good. I got you. Good point, Elena.
Louis, I thought you had a
but-
really-
I was gonna.
Louis
Thanks
had a
for
really
adding to
brave
it.
point that
Yeah.
I wanted to explore.
no, that's
further.
enough. Thanks, you added to
Yeah.
it. That's cool. No,
Thanks.
really though, go ahead.
Literally, we gave you your 2 cents.
No, I was just saying, like, just like the thing about, like, you know, like when I think about like the like McDonald's, like getting like they want $15 an hour or whatever, and I'm like, I get paid $15 an hour to work at my job, and I had to do quite a bit of like I had to learn a lot of skills to do
Yeah,
that.
but you should probably be getting paid more
But
realistically.
no, you're not wrong. But I'm just saying we were just talking about how anyone can make a McChicken, and I'm like, there's not a lot of prerequisites.
But
going
not
into
everybody
McDonald's
wants
that
to
you should
make
be-
a McChicken.
Look,
Like-
here's
They
the
don't
thing,
apply to
man.
McDonald's.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing. The work at fast food restaurants, it is easy, but the sheer quantity and the pace at sometimes, that would break a lot of people.
Oh,
It
I
does
worked
break
at,
a lot of
I
people.
worked at fast food. I didn't like it.
People can fucking
Got
like
a
shit on
different
fast
job.
food workers, but like boomers and shit, but like people who work in an office would crumble under the pressure of a fucking lunch rush at a
Yeah.
fast food
Yeah.
restaurant.
Depending
Yeah.
on what office you work at, honestly. Like, it depends on what you're doing. 'Cause
I've-
had
I've-
days where I'm
I've
like,
worked-
Fuck, I wish I worked at Culver's
I'm talking
right
about
now.
people that have a lot of downs, like people who are able to be on Facebook at their jobs would just crumble under the pressure of the lunch rush.
Not you though, Trevor.
Not you.
Not you, dude. I've worked both, and I'll tell you right now, yeah, it's way harder. Being a line cook
Yeah,
or
and it's
working
not
in a kitchen,
difficult
like,
work. It's just the fucking quantity of work.
Yeah,
It's so
it's-
much.
Yeah.
and I mean, sometimes it can be difficult. Like if you fucking singe your arm on something, but then you still have like. You don't have a chef at McDonald's.
burn
You have a
yourself.
manager that's like, we got to keep this going.
Yeah, you burn yourself and
Yeah.
you just have to power through the rest of the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Zacky's got a lot of experience.
I got a
on this.
lot on this, but I'm only gonna say
Listen
a
to our
small,
podcast episode. He talks about restaurants a lot.
Yeah, talk about being a cook. I was a cook for a long period. It was my adult job, and I made under $15 an hour my entire cook career, and I had to know a fuck of a lot more than anybody that works at a McDonald's has to know. But like Elena said, when she said I make $15 an hour, and then Lou said, well, you should probably be making more.
That was Jake. I
Or,
think
sorry,
she's making
But yeah,
70 cents to the dollar. That's about
I was
right.
gonna say I think Elena should be making less.
yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Elena
I-
should be making 70 cents for every dollar.
Yeah,
I make.
that's about right.
But just I want to say as like a point counterpoint kind of mentality. I agree that I would be pissed. Like if I was a cook making $13 an hour and then all of a sudden I was making $15 an hour because the minimum wage got raised and I'm making the same amount of money that people that work at Taco Bell are making and my job is literally 10 times harder.
All right, I'm not gonna let anybody slander Taco Bell.
Uh,
My opinion is that people that work at Taco Bell should be making $35 an hour. Anyways,
but it's I think the mentality of you should be making more is drowned out constantly by that defensive mentality of if you do work a job that requires you to have skills and now you're making the same amount of money as somebody who works an unskilled job, you're like, go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
Not
'cause-
really though.
but I agree, not really. You should be like, we should all be making more money.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, fuck you. I had to work really hard and learn a
because
lot to do this
McDonald's-
job.
The thing about it is that McDonald's workers getting paid $15 an hour doesn't mean that my pay goes up.
Exactly,
So like
yeah.
that's like why it's just like
That's why.
so it's like
defensive
you're
thing.
right. Like Jake is right, where it's like everyone should be getting paid
Well,
more than.
So
like, you
yeah,
know,
here's the
but, like,
thing. I think the point counterpoint there is like if McDonald's workers start making $15 an hour and you're like, fuck this, I'll go work at McDonald's. And then people start really flocking to jobs like that. And then other workplaces start to suffer like McDonald's is right now. You're going to see a recorrection.
Yeah, so why don't we
of
just
pain.
skip it all and let's just include everybody and let's just work
Because
on
I
the
think it's
minimum
got to
wage.
start from the bottom. Like,
dude, I've worked one commission job, and now I'm like, every job should be commission.
yeah.
If
I
you
mean,
work at
that's
McDonald's, you
capitalism.
should get
That-
paid by the cheeseburger.
Yeah, that's capitalism 101.
That's how my
Where it's
dad
just
used to
like,
do
how much did
chores.
you do? Here's what you get
It's
paid.
I've never worked a job before where it's like, man, if I have a heater and just really, play the field for a month,
Yeah.
I
and
just
then
realized I have a really capitalistic mindset, but go ahead.
I mean,
Like as far as working goes.
so do I. This
I
system
understand-
sucks, but
I
I'm,
understand anybody making like $14 or $13 an hour right now being like pissed at the idea of a McDonald's worker making more than them, but really you shouldn't be pissed at McDonald's. You should be pissed at your own fucking boss. And you guys should be banding together as workers and being like, yeah, we all deserve more. Like
that's-
inflation.
That's what they're doing.
wages- Yeah, no, I mean that's what not anybody outside the fast food industry.
Oh, yeah,
Nobody
yeah.
else is doing that. Like, it's just like, why don't you guys take a fucking note from the fast food workers and go on strike and ask for more? Because y'all are getting fucked.
Yeah, I think because a lot of people are fucked in that they can't. They wish they could, but it's like they legitimately would die if they didn't make that weekly paycheck.
Yeah, that is the thing.
It's what is it, like more than half of America doesn't even have a savings.
Lives paycheck to
Yeah,
paycheck.
it's insane, man. Like
some of that though. I'll push back on that a little bit, is because
Yeah, maybe a little
America
right wing too.
is the most fucking just over leveraged.
what's that?
America
Yeah,
as
yeah.
a country is so fucking over leveraged. Like, part of the reason I think people are living paycheck to paycheck is because they'll have like one good job and they'll be like, cool, I'm gonna buy a $300,000 house.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Right.
buy
We're
a
also
$20,000 new car.
Right, but that's the freedom of America as well.
Yeah.
You're free
well, yeah,
to be
but
an
then
idiot.
it's like as soon as they
Like-
lose their job, they're fucked.
Right, but that's the price you pay with like allowing people to do what the hell they want with the money they make. Like
Sure.
yeah, if everybody
But to
was
say that they're living paycheck to paycheck and it's because America is a corrupt system, it's like, no, you're just a bad consumer.
Yeah.
You're an
I mean,
irresponsible,
Sure, but
stupid consumer.
here's the thing: you brought up like $100,000 house, and like people
$300,000 house.
Right, people living paycheck to paycheck at that level can sell that house, buy an $80,000 house, and they'll be fine.
Sure.
But we're talking about the people that can't get out of a goddamn basement.
Oh, and that absolutely
and
exists.
there's a difference. I'm like, if you're financially stupid, but you're making a ton of money, you'll still be all right. You have assets you can fall back on, and your lifestyle is going to change. But then there's a difference between that and then literally having to be welfare state.
Oh, absolutely.
Where I'm like, yeah, I think a lot of people are like, I would just like to not be welfare state. So it's
Sure.
like you can be an idiot making whatever you want, to beyond your means. If you're living beyond your means, but you're not on the welfare state, that's on you. But if you're living beyond your means and you're on the welfare state, I'm like, okay, sure, you're probably financially bad as well, but you're also fucked into a level where it's like buying food, rent, power might be living beyond your means.
Dude, being poor is so goddamn expensive.
Yeah.
As someone who was poor for pretty much my entire, not really as a kid, but I mean, my parents were whatever.
As a kid,
with
it's
money.
hard because you don't see it all. You know what I mean?
But just growing up as a young adult now, you see some people who it's like, man, you slip into oh, I'm going through a tough time.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, well, now this is more expensive.
Yep.
So congratulations on going through a tough time. Now your entire life is more expensive. Good luck.
Well,
You
it just
dig out of
sucks.
this one, you
It is-
fucking idiot.
It especially sucks being poor in America, trying to build up a savings and shit, because it's not impossible, but the way America's set up is with the capitalism system is we just kind of dangle a fucking carrot in front of everybody's face 24/7. Hey, buy this, buy this, buy this. And it's it's
Exactly.
shit that you don't need. So every poor person I know, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of them are pretty dog shit with their money, and they don't know how to. It's dude, you could save, but you bought this and you bought this and you bought this. It's you didn't need that stuff, and I understand why you bought it because. That's the fucked up thing about America is your whole status is social status is just kind of by what you have.
So I've actually read into how people at the ultra poor level or at a poverty line level get out of it, and it sucks. But usually, when you look at somebody who's middle class and then they make it ultra rich, it's because they go above and beyond to live hyper below their means. And I'm forgetting the name. He was one of the founders of Facebook or an early developer on Facebook, but now he's a financial guy and whatnot. But he talks about growing up poor and becoming a self-made millionaire. And it's if you're at that welfare poor level, he's you have to go above and beyond that to go out of your way to live even worse at that level.
You have to work harder and live even below those means.
It's
to escape it.
And it sucks, but it's you have to dig down to a deeper level of bullshit to then rise up out of it, which sucks. But it's I think what it comes down to is there are people that don't have the mentality to do that. Do you know how much willpower it takes to literally be that responsible to pull yourself up by your bootstraps? That's just a human condition people don't all have.
I don't want to sound unempathetic because it is poverty in America obviously is it's a vicious cycle, and it is extremely hard to get out of. Some people will just be in the perpetual cycle.
Yeah.
But some people, I don't want to pretend it's all a privilege thing, because some people just straight up do have the sheer willpower and work themselves out of poverty.
Sure. But
even LeBron James is an example of that. He grew up in fucking Akron, poor as
yeah,
shit.
Yeah. But you're also talking
As long
about
as you're
fucking
6'8",
LeBron James.
As long as you're 6'8" and good at basketball, though, you can do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, though? I'm saying, if you
Right.
fucking work hard enough on top of having, or anything, it doesn't even, you don't have to be a basketball player. You
Right.
could be a fucking, some poor kid who just happens to be, kind of have an inclination towards computers. If you have the willpower, you can pull yourself out of shit.
Right, but my pushback is I don't think the majority of people have that willpower.
And I'll also say this: to make those sacrifices, you have to sacrifice relationships and friendships and the basic enjoyments of living a life, And so, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, some of the most important shit on that pyramid, it's if you want to escape poverty, it's fucking sorry everybody. Can't working in food. Oh my god, dude, so many fun things that I never got to do because it's my friends would go on Friday night, sorry, I'm working.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm working the nicest goddamn day of the year for no money. I'm working for it was $2.13 an hour, I think, when I was working in food service. And I mean, like, I sacrifice so much literally just to pay car insurance and drink. That's all my money went
Yeah.
to
And
for
that's
a
the other
nice
thing,
chunk of my early life.
Drinking and other drugs that kind of keep people down.
Vices are
It's-
expensive.
Well, yeah, and it's a vicious cycle you get into where it's like, oh, okay, like I'll make just enough to dull the pain to keep this going.
It's fucked up.
And then you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm 40.
Yeah, it's a vicious
Like,
cycle,
what?
dude.
Yeah.
It is legit. Like, and
Vicious
I
cycle.
kind of feel like sometimes
Vicious
like
cycle. Vicious
the government
cycle?
knows, like they're obviously like looking at this shit and they're like, they kind of just have people by the fucking balls, man. Where it's
Yeah.
like these people don't have a choice but to like go to this job that they fucking hate, and that's kind of like circling back around. That's why now that all these people have like all this government money, and they're like refusing to go back to work. I'm like, yeah, you try living that life for a few years, dude. Like,
Yeah.
rich people that like complain about these workers, I'm like, if you woke up and Freaky Friday'd with one of these people, you would shoot yourself in the face.
Yeah, I mean, it's they made that Mean Boss show or whatever on NBC,
Yeah,
but
that's-
I get what you're
They
saying.
should
It's
make
like,
every person with a net worth over 150K in America just like live like a poor person for like a week.
I mean,
Just
here's-
as like an empathy.
my
exercise.
pushback on that is unless they were born into the money, a lot of them probably did.
Yeah.
Like if you're born into that kind of
I'd say
money,
less than people that were born into it.
well, no, my point being is if you're born into that money, you'll never know. But a lot of people that make, you know, the self-made but not really self-made, but the people that, you know, do dip down to then slingshot up, they probably did work really hard, and that's something I've noticed with like, you know, self-made millionaires and businessmen, and like a lot of like, you know, rags to riches business story. Like it's kind of sad because I'm like their empathy almost washes away once they get to the top. I'm like, do you not remember the struggle? And they're like, I do, but I think it's that scarcity mindset where when you're broke as fuck, you have a scarcity mindset where you're like, oh, this could all go at any moment.
When you grow
So
up in
when you
poverty,
yeah, when you get rich as fuck and you grew up in poverty, that doesn't go away. You have a scarcity mindset where you're like, I got to keep collecting
More and more.
Well, it's
more
like
and
a
more and more and
defense
more.
mechanism into your brain that's like, I can't lose this money now that I have it.
Right.
So like,
Somebody-
ask any rich person how much money they got. They'll just be like,
Not
what are you
enough.
talking about? I don't have any money.
Yeah, or like
They'll
not
lie.
enough.
They'll be
Yeah.
like, I'm broke, dude. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
they'll have a $300,000 car. Be like, I'm
Yeah.
so fucking
Or
poor.
just
Two
not
mil,
enough.
2 mil in the
Like-
bank account.
Well, everybody's poor, I'm broke is different, you know.
yeah, that's
like
true.
like it just, and it depends on your spending habits too. Like I have like when I say I'm broke, I have no money. Like
Yeah.
I can't get a
And
fucking
to be fair,
pack of
across the
papers at the
board, in
gas
terms of
station.
like the willpower thing, just to be fair across the board, there are some people who have that sheer willpower and will try to work themselves out of it, and the
Yeah.
system's so fucked that it still doesn't work.
Yeah.
I think
You can try and try and try, and you still might not make it out.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that overall, as just like for this conversation and just like fast food and stuff in general, like the argument for like you know, like the reasoning for why they want like $15 an hour is 'cause, like this is their job, this is what they do, this is how they like, support their family and stuff. But I don't know why I was thinking about it while we were sitting here, but I'm just like, America should really push skilled trades again. Like,
Oh yeah, plumbers,
my
electricians.
brother
Yeah.
went in high school. My brother, and like this isn't like knocking anyone for what they decided to do, but just like as an example, like my brother in high school went to the career center, graduated with with a certificate in welding, and like works for GM now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like there's just so much focus put on like getting degrees and stuff like that. That now everyone has a degree and it doesn't
Yeah.
fucking matter.
Oh,
If
it's
you have
useless.
like
But
it's
not-
useless.
ridiculously
Also, a lot of schools
useless.
just don't have those resources, so
But
a lot
it's
of kids don't
also-
even have access to that shit.
That is
That
true.
should be like a standard, honestly,
no,
for
but that's what
every
I'm
school
saying.
to
It
have.
should be
Te-
like a
technical
thing
high
like
schools.
that.
It's the
No,
truth,
just
though.
any school having like some sort of like, you know, program where you can go learn a
Dude,
trade.
but-
Like,
Even off campus.
Trades now, like plumbers, electricians, they're doing the same thing that these food industry places are doing, where they're paying people to come in to even check out an apprenticeship.
Mhm.
There'll be like master plumbers that are like, I don't have anybody. They're like Sith lords that don't have anybody to apprentice. They're like, and not saying they're bad people, like bad reference, but the point being is they don't have anybody to teach to then carry on the trade.
Yeah.
And it's to the point where you're seeing a shortage in not only like doctors and lawyers, which is hilarious. You're seeing an overabundance of doctors and lawyers at this point in some places, but like no plumbers or electricians. And
Yeah.
it's like, what the
How
fuck?
many of these fucking Gen Z kids do you think are gonna end up being plumbers later?
None. They all want to
none.
be famous.
Like,
yeah,
that was the point I was gonna make. Is like everybody wants to be like a TikTok star now, so
Yeah.
it's like all these trade jobs that we need people to go into are gonna be fucked soon.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Part of me, like, as I'm getting older and trying to do stand up, which the hypocrisy is not lost on me, like trying to do a podcast right now and doing stand up and wanting to be in show business. But part of me is like, you know what, dude? Like, if I could actually just get a okay like trade job, which I've thought about a couple times. Like, my buddy's a welder, and
Well,
it's
they're,
like
fulfilling too.
Right.
Like I can sit for 10 fucking hours at my job at like my desk
Right,
and like
right.
feel nothing
Right,
when I leave.
right.
Like
right. Whereas if you fix a bunch of shit all day, you're like, I
Yeah.
did that. And then you get paid, and then it's like, hey man, you can still do stand up at night, you know?
Well,
Like,
and something that I've learned just doing my job is because I work with all sorts of people, and a lot of them are like in trades, and they're people who are like starting their own businesses and like doing all that stuff, and it's not glamorous anymore, and it wasn't glamorous back then, and it's certainly not glamorous right now. I mean, there's no like tradesman TikTok, like there's no contractor TikTok.
I was
There
about to
is.
say there
Okay,
is.
well, I guess there is.
There's more and more like people are fantasizing and fetishizing like regular jobs again.
Are they?
But yeah, dude, I've seen tons of YouTube channels now that are just like, oh, this is how you do like. It started off as like helping channels, like this is how you clear what S pipe or whatever the U pipe. You get what I'm talking about. Like
Sure.
and now these channels that went from like simple how to do things are like plumber influencers. And they're like, yo, this is how you like get into the trade. Yeah. And part of me is like, good. Like,
Yes.
because if kids see that, they're like, nah, I don't want to be a YouTuber anymore. I actually legitimately want to be like, a contractor or a plumber or an electrician. I'm like, yeah, I'll tell you this much. Like even coding as well. That's something else where
6
I'm like,
months, baby.
learn to code like was a meme, but I'm also like, nah, probably a good thing. Like, like.
But like all I was thinking is, like I work with all these people, and like on paper, like if you look at like the modern like landscape, like you would think that all these people would be failures. I mean, a lot of them like, like on the academic side of things, like don't know as much. Like I've had people who like struggle to even read stuff, but just because they learned how to like do this stuff, they're loaded. I mean, they run their own business and they contract stuff out. And I mean, they just fucking know how stuff works.
Yep.
And like they took what they had and they just made something of it.
Yeah.
And it's like there is a whole, I don't want to say economy, but like a financial system that is just kind of buried under all the bullshit that gets streamed into your eyeballs every day. So people are like, oh, well, I can't make any money, being a social worker, even though I want to be a social worker. It's like that is a real bummer.
Yeah.
And I feel for you. You should be able to make a living wage with the things that you do. But like if you really need money, there is a whole system of people who are out there making money, fixing stuff, like making stuff move, and it's not glamorous, but holy fuck are they compensated.
Yeah.
And just like working with these people, and a lot of these people too are just so down to earth. I mean, people who are making I work with people who are making literal millions per year, and they are bussing tables at the restaurants that they run. And it's crazy. They wake up at 8 a.m., they bus tables, they serve, host.
See, that goes back to that different mindset, though, man. That's like a different animal that can do that.
But I'm just saying it's not glamorous, and they're loaded.
Yeah.
And
But-
it's like you don't even hear about these people. At least in the the younger generation, I just don't think is exposed to it.
Yeah.
And so you don't know like the opportunities that are out there. And it's getting a degree is objectively, I'm not saying I shouldn't have gotten a degree, but getting a degree was the objectively worst financial decision that I've made in my young life.
Yeah, people have talked about like the worst $60,000 investment they ever made was a college degree.
Legitimate. I'm making more money than I've ever made, and I didn't need a college degree at all.
Right,
And the jobs that I was working with a college degree, not even close.
Yeah, I would say there's arguments for still going to college, but
Oh,
it
of
shouldn't
course.
It shouldn't cost as much.
It was
as
a good
does either.
experience
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
I'm glad I did it.
Right,
But if
right.
you were looking at just the numbers,
Right.
No, we need college-educated people. I just don't necessarily think that everybody needs to be college-educated for the for the country to run.
Right. Also,
smoothly,
it
you
like
know?
when I meet a college-educated STEM person, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like you gotta
Yeah.
go to a university to really learn your STEM at a higher level. But then, like, dude, I got political theory and constitutional democracy, and I just think of Goodwill Hunting, where I'm like, yeah, I could have got that degree with a $5 fucking library card. It's like, yeah, son of a bitch, man. So yeah, I'm kind of like that, or should have went to law school. But
yeah, you and I both. Pal.
yeah.
Anytime I'm bombing on a stage, just in my head, I'm like, you had a full ride to law school. You had a full ride to law school. You had a full ride to law school. And just nobody's laughing. I'm not even
you
that
really?
wealthy. I did.
Yeah.
I did. I didn't go.
The coding thing is interesting about the thing that's kind of crazy is the market right now is so oversaturated with coders because of the learn to code meme.
Yeah.
That like it's literally a shot in the dark. If you're trying to get a job coding, doesn't matter if you've done a boot camp, doesn't matter if you've gone to college. There's so many coders now that it's like good luck.
Yeah.
It's like when you see a YouTube ad now. It's like, are you trying to make thousands of dollars of passive income with your e-commerce store? And it's like there's a billion e-commerce stores now. Like nobody's gonna buy your shit, dude.
So
You missed out on that fad.
That's real frustrating because like being a coder sounds like it would be a great job but there's just not enough jobs for coders.
Yeah.
Sure, there's enough jobs for data scientists, people that have to go to school and get a master's if you want to be a data scientist.
See, I'm very interested in almost checking out the Google certificate thing because, like, I guess like 85% of people that do that program do get like placed in jobs
A year
pretty
ago,
quick.
yes.
Yeah,
A year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
A year from now, no. It's just
I
how
mean,
it works.
that market is like expanding and they need more and more people as time goes on.
See that, but here's the issue: is that's what they say because they want people to do that kind of stuff. But there's only so many jobs, and like, yeah, they're expanding, but not if you get like, 100 new companies for every 1,000 new coders from Google certificates and stuff. I mean,
They're going to take the cream of the crop. They're filter fishing to get everybody to try it, and then they're going to take the top, the top workers, whoever did the best. Like, okay, that's who we're looking for. The rest of you, thank you so much. Now you have this new skill set. Good luck to you.
Yeah, right.
And
Exactly.
It's like, man, I don't know.
I'll be RB. I'm gonna use the bathroom.
Okay,
4
you're
blocks
good,
away.
but I'll say this much, like, kind of bringing it back to all of us in the stand-up capacity, right, in the show business capacity, and even our lovely fun little podcast, as I'm sure people call it, our cute
Thank you
little
for
podcast.
watching, by the way.
Yeah,
Today's
thank you
been a
guys.
little bit serious, but
Right? No,
still
yeah,
fun.
whatever, dude. It'll happen.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't know about you guys, because it's funny you bring up like the law school loop in your head.
Every goddamn day.
I've kind of surrendered to the fact that, and this is what's fucked up, right? I love doing stand up so goddamn much. Like, it's one of my like borderline my favorite thing to do, like, ever. Especially if I'm doing well, I'm like, oh, I love this.
I work 9 to 5 and then immediately go to a show every single
so
night.
I know I'm kind of surrounded by people that are in that mindset, but what's fucked up to me is I love it so much that I don't mind all the bullshit of like show business, and I hate show business like booking. I hate trying to that rat race to the top. I'm like, Jesus Christ, the people that don't bring a ladder for friends like bugs the shit out of me. Backstabbing, I hate all of that. And like, if I could do stand up without any of that, I'd be like, oh my God, like this is a perfect world. But we don't live in a perfect world. But my like kickback is like when I see people that do not love the actual performance side of it, or like the figuring out a joke, or
No,
like
they just look at it like work.
right. Well, I had people that are like, I just want to get good enough to sell this amount of merch at a show. I'm like, why would you ever do stand-up comedy
To sell
to
merch.
sell merch or to make money? I'm like, you're doing it wrong. Bro, go be a plumber. You will make 8 times as much money and you'll be the funniest dude
In the fucking plumbing company.
Yeah, I'm like, you'll crush it. If that, dude, when people at comedy shows talk to me specifically about merch sales, and they're not like headliners that are like, you know, already getting booked at clubs, and it's like, okay, now it's just business savvy.
Yeah.
But like people who are at open mic still, and then talking to me about like they want to be good enough to sell this amount of merch, I'm like, you're freaking me out right now, dude.
Yeah,
like,
you ever
I'm
had an
like,
open micer sell your merch? Or not sell your merch,
No,
but I've had open mic level comedians like pitch merch to me or like give me stuff, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Dude, it's
like, what are you
it's
actually doing?
Well, it just kind of bums me out, especially at like the open mic level, because I'm like, yo, man, we're here to get like good at this to see where it goes. And then if you're like, I just want to get good enough to sell something, I'm like, oh, dude, there's so many other ways to make money. Like what are you doing?
Yeah.
This is so I don't know, man. I'm fucked, and I don't know about you guys. I don't want to like speak for you guys, but I've kind of surrendered. Not even surrendered. I've chosen a path that I am very happy with right now, and I often say this: if I ever lose that love for the stage or the art form that is stand up, I'm fucking out, no problem. I'm like, what? Like everything else surrounding it, besides some friends and some people I really love in it, I'm like, show business is a nightmare.
Well, and
like,
also there's this like perception of stand up, and I don't think it's wrong per se, but it's, you know, everybody's like, oh, I gotta build my audience and have people want to come out and see me and all this stuff, and I get that.
You heard that, right?
Well,
people talking about building audiences
at the show yesterday.
I was like,
yeah.
Jesus.
Well, and what I was saying, and this is kind of a plug at the same time, is that like stand up is a lot more of like, it's just a live thing that people like to come out and watch. And like, you know, I was talking to some comedians last night who were talking about like, you know, I want to build my audience so I can do better shows instead of like mics like this. And I'm like, dude, Elena and I, you know, have kind of been working on a show recently, and like we made a flyer, and now this isn't a dig against Elena, but I don't think anybody gives a shit who we are.
No.
Right? I mean, we're two.
And not a dig on anyone against the lineup, but they didn't give a shit about them either.
They're just people. Yeah.
They didn't know
Nobody,
any of those names.
nobody has. None of those people have like a dedicated audience.
draw,
of people.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
We're just a bunch of people who do stand up. That's it.
Right.
We made a competent flyer. And then we gave that to the brewery, and then the brewery just marketed it on Facebook.
Right.
That's it. No secrets, no hype, no nothing. I mean, we barely personally, I mean, I didn't really personally reach out to a lot of people, but just that marketing, people in the community sold out the fucking show.
Sure, but
it's like, that's how you do good shows.
right. Well, okay.
It's a live event that people are just looking to have fun. It's not that
And
deep.
you also do. Sorry. Go ahead.
well, you're talking about like putting on like a good show, and like you guys booked comedians that are also good comedians.
Sure.
But my point being, like, because you guys were talking to the people that like want to build up an audience, and I get wanting to build up an audience for people to see your jokes and brand, but I'm like, you know, the business side of comedy or the show business side of it, I'm like, yeah, build it up, but I'm like, build it up after you're like good, like once you know you're good, and that's where it like freaks me out, because I'm sitting there like still trying to be like, oh man, like I gotta get good at this. Yeah. And I see some people who do both and, you know, hustle, and I'm not knocking people that like are successful and then also, in my opinion, like not good enough yet, but I'm like, whatever, they're hustling, and no hate on them. I'm just saying, like, personally for me, I'm like, dude, I would like it freaks me out when I see people like
they're just focused on like the attention of it,
I guess,
and it's
instead of like the craft.
Yeah.
But I don't. It's something you said about like, you know, the flyer in comedy that jogged something, but I lost it. So what was the point you were?
I was just gonna say, like, people like saying, like, specifically the example from just like whoever said last night about like, oh, I want to get a better audience so that I can like do better shows.
Yeah.
And like, just from my experience, doing good at those bad shows are gonna get people to ask you to go and do their better shows. So just keep doing them.
Yep.
Just quit worrying so much, because I worried a lot for a long time, and it made comedy not fun.
You know what?
So.
You jogged the point I want to make is everything I heard, and this is no offense, it was from people who are pretty new.
Oh yeah.
And it was just kind of like, I wasn't like the people who say stuff like that when they're new, I'm like, dude, I remember being a couple like 6 months to like 2 years in, you still have like a euphoric feeling every goddamn mic and show, and it's the people I'm talking about have been in the game for like 10 years or 20 years, and they're talking to me like this at an open mic, and I'm like, oh, you're freaking me out. Like the kids, I'm like, yeah, man, like you're new, go be new and love everything about this and fantasize, because you need that delusion and fantasy to keep going. You need it.
Yeah.
But like when somebody up the in year wise is still talking like that, I'm like, oh, you're freaking me out, man.
You never got it.
Yeah, I'm like, fold and walk away.
Yeah,
like
you need
listen to a Kenny
of
Rogers song and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like,
nice.
I think it's definitely a balance between fuck, I just forgot what I was gonna say. God damn it. It's a balance between being like fucking delusion. You need to be like delusional for quite some time, and then what the fuck? God,
I think you need somebody. I think you
remember.
need to be like delusional for the first couple years, but then like either you need to put yourself in check in some fashion, or like another. It's either your responsibility or like an older comedian's responsibility to then put you in check and be like, "Are you been doing this for some time now?
yeah.
Step into reality now."
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's the best thing for you as a
Realize
comic
what you're
after
doing.
a couple years in to be.
Dude,
You know,
Took the words out of my mouth. Just
to
would
be
like to
put
say that's what
back
I was
into
trying
the
to
real
say.
world when you've been just
Dude, I've seen like comedian friends up the chain like talk to buddies. We're like, hey, this isn't for you, and it's like harsh.
I don't even mean like that.
Yeah,
like you don't
but-
got to do that, but
well-
just be like, hey, it's gonna be a fucking grind,
Well,
and you don't deserve anything, so don't think you do.
that.
Yeah, the entitlement. That's what I was gonna
Right,
say. You need
right.
to have delusion in the beginning, but like
Yeah.
once it turns into entitlement, I fucking hate
dude,
you.
it's yeah,
Well, and
it's,
that, and
it's
that, but
freaky.
that's where you get like the audience stuff, because it's so like inwardly focused that like these people think that the quality of shows that they do is based on how known they are, or like who wants to come and see them. Where like the reality is like people just want to get out and do something,
Yeah.
and like you're the monkey with cymbals that claps
Yeah,
for a
just-
little bit,
just
and
make a
that's
good
how it's
show.
gonna be
Yeah.
probably for your entire career. Sorry about it.
Yeah.
That you're probably just going to be a monkey with cymbals, and if you don't like banging cymbals together, stop doing comedy.
Yeah.
Because there's a 99% chance that nobody is ever going to give a shit about you, and you're just going to be entertaining to strangers, and if that's not enough for you, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I really don't know
Also,
what to tell you.
I hate this notion from new comics that like, oh, the more audience members there are, the better the show is. And it's like, no, you're too new at this, dude. Like, if you can't make a crowd of 15 laugh, what makes you think you can make a crowd of 150 laugh?
I've again, man, I don't blame new comics for being
No,
new in
not at
that
all.
regard. Because I get what you're saying, but
God damn it. Keeps
oh, yeah,
sticking.
no, I was like, yeah, we're heated. It keeps popping up. It's gonna get real sweaty in the office. But we've shifted like from.
We're all over the
Well,
place.
no,
today.
we went from like business talk and show business into like running a good mic. And I'm like, yeah, run a good mic, run a good show, and people have a good time, and you'll get better at comedy. But my whole point being is going back to like the show business thing, or everybody wants to be famous. I'm like, show business, disgusting.
Yeah.
If you don't have the love or the passion for whatever the actual craft is, like there's a difference between somebody who wants to be an actor because they love the idea of acting and the Shakespearean level. I'm not saying every actor, but somebody who loves fucking acting versus somebody who wants to be an actor just because they want to be famous and have clout. I'm like, it's two different roads.
Bro, you look at
And-
Joaquin Phoenix. You think
what?
Joaquin Phoenix is doing what he does
right,
for
right.
attention?
Right.
I don't
well,
think so.
Okay, so the only other metaphor I think I have, because it's burned into my head from like military buddies, but it's like the dudes who like go to SEAL training that just want to be Navy SEALs for the title because it's like a badass thing. They're like, oh, that's not the ones that make it. It's the ones that legitimately want to do the job. So it's it's like, do you want the job or do you want the title of the job? Because it's like those are two different mindsets. If you want the job, your mindset is going to be, I got to be good at this job. If you want the title of the job, you just want the benefits of, yeah, you just want the benefits of the title versus being good at the job. And I don't know, man. That's where I'm at. Is like, whatever you do, want to be good at the job, not just have the title.
Yeah.
Sorry, go for it, Zach.
Oh no, you're fine.
I got something to say real quick. No, just
I agree 100% with Lou. There's a lot of people who like want to be a comedian, but that they don't know what that entails. They just want to be a comedian. But I
find out what doing comedy is.
exactly. It's the
Not being funny.
but so the issue with these young comics saying things like, I want to build my audience, I want to sell merch, I want to do all this stuff. It's YouTube. It's YouTube, I guess newer stuff, TikTok. And as an explanation, and it's ironic because we're doing this right now.
Right,
But the whole idea of like, I want to build my audience, or I want to get an audience so that my shows are better. It's delusional in the wrong way, because of these kids grew up watching YouTube. And as somebody who grew up watching YouTube, that's what you see is these people who have an audience now, and like all these like Cody Ko, all these like internet comedians.
That damages your comedy though, because then you've just got a bunch of people that love you that are just gonna clap no matter what you say, and you turn into Joe Rogan.
As to kind of make it a complete point is, that's the source, right? That's why people are like this now, is because they see TikTok, they see these super famous and popular people online that have their own followings, and they're like, I want that. I want people that follow me wherever I go.
I kind of want to address the Cody Co, because you brought him up in specific, and him and who's the other guy? Noel and Cody Co, and I've shared this clip with Trevor because Trevor's seen it before. But one of the most like prolific things those dudes said when they were talking about show business or comedy, they're like, dude, don't quit your day job. Afford to like be in writing classes and get real good at the craft. Like when you look at guys like Cody Ko and that, or even like Steve Martin's masterclass, or like people you want to emulate, they're good at the job.
Right.
They didn't want to be comedians for the sake of like, I'm a comedian. They wanted to be really good at the craft of like joking around or entertainment. And I'm like, that to me, I'm like, cool, I can get behind that. But
well, I'm just gonna get back to the seat. So what I'll say,
go sit down. Fuck, dude.
As kind of like, because I could literally do an hour on this particular topic of the audiences and the delusions of young comedians now versus the delusions of comedians 10 years ago, and it's just fascinating to me, because I just wish that like people who are trying to be comedians now, because they saw somebody on TikTok be funny, and they're like, oh, I want to be funny, and like all this shit, or they see, everybody wants to make a YouTube channel and be a vlogger and have an audience and be a comedian, is understand that Trevor Wallace can't do 45 minutes. Understand that these people...
Well, it's different. Stand-up is different.
Totally
beast.
different.
Like,
and your audience doesn't give a shit about you until you give them a reason to give it. You could have a TikTok following of 100,000 people that follow you, and 50,000 to 80,000 of those 100,000 people don't even know who you are. They follow you because, haha, that one TikTok funny, or that YouTube video is funny. Well, and that's not a knock, and that's not saying, your followers don't matter, don't try to gain followers. It's to say that it doesn't actually matter. The following that you gain on TikTok or YouTube or whatever, those people, just like stand-up, look at you and go, this person... I go to a TikTok comment and see how many of the comments on a funny TikTok video say, this guy is so funny. Not their name. Nobody gives a shit. It's just ha funny clown symbol man.
Wait, you keep saying tick what?
Oh, sorry. It's this weird app. I think I'm saying it wrong. Took?
Yeah, now you get it. No, dude, I'm picking up what you're putting down a little bit, and something I want to be like kind of self-aware and break the fourth wall of our own show. Because you guys are here, we do this every week and we're having fun with it. But like something Trevor and I was talking about, and the people that are watching now, because you guys are OG Yondo and the
just
crew.
Alex in the chat
For right now. But it's like, dude, one of the reasons, like even this show, I'm like, is kind of a skunk works for us to all figure out like podcasting and talking together like live on mic. And
that's just experience.
Right.
I mean, like today the set looks so good.
Yeah,
I mean, we just changed one little thing. It got a little bit better.
Right, but like getting better at the craft where it's like, but I think if we all looked at each other, and even to the lovely people watching us right now, if we're like, we should market this to like, and put money behind it, like, why aren't we super famous off this yet? I'm like, because
to all things comedy.
Dude, it's because it's like the product right now is like not worth it. We're in the figuring out T-ball phase of this.
Being self-aware as a comedian is
I'm like
vital.
Like I get this, and then you guys might even remember from stand-up. Like you get to that point in the Dunning-Kruger effect where you're just like, oh, I don't want people I love to know I'm doing this yet because I'm not good enough at this yet.
I
So
don't
I'm
want
like,
anyone to think
yeah,
that
don't watch. Like, let me
Yeah.
keep getting, like, don't watch.
We're
Like the
most-
people watching now, love you, thank you, subscribe, like all that stuff.
But maybe don't watch. I'm
But
just
it's like, yeah, maybe don't watch that, or it's like, you know, we are actively trying to figure it out to be better at this craft.
We're best
But-
in clips.
Yeah, small doses. We do 2 hours to get 30 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Something that I was kind of thinking about, and I was thinking about it all at the show yesterday, is I think people, you look at like YouTube and TikTok, and you kind of like romanticize this attention. And like Zach had kind of started saying, like it is a lot of it. It's just really superficial, number based, stupidity.
Yeah.
But I think some people watch stand up, and I would say maybe even myself included as a young guy, and say like, oh wow, look at all that guy getting, or all that guy, look at that guy getting all that positive attention.
Yeah.
I enjoy this. Maybe I could also do this and
Yeah.
get positive attention. And like if you're on YouTube or TikTok or all that, whatever, like you post a video, it gets X number of views, and you go, wow, here's a quantifiable amount of attention. Yippee.
Well, you talking about that.
It
that-
makes
that-
sense why everybody's chasing the cloud.
Well, you talking about that dopamine though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
But the difference is with something like TikTok is like you get a number.
Right.
I did X and I got Y number of
Yeah.
views.
Right. Well,
right?
it's a supercomputer based on giving you a drug that you make in your own brain.
Well, and the crazy part is like how many views you get is kind of just how much TikTok pushes out your talk.
Right.
It's got the best organic view count for
Well,
sure.
But here's
Right,
the
but
thing,
then-
by design.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm like, it's organic, but also by design.
It's just the
to-
algorithm pushing it. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
To the point where I'm like, sure, but this is also an app that is designed to hyper addict you.
Yeah,
To
to
your
getting
own-
views.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
that. Yeah.
It's
we'll get
sick.
Yeah.
But then with stand up, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to go out and get some attention.
Yeah.
And it's not the same. It's not just views. You can't just look at a number and say like,
There's only
perfect.
one take.
You're getting
Like,
attention,
yeah.
and it's bad.
Well, it's
because you haven't done stand up that long. And so
It's-
it's like, oh, you have all these people's attention and they're not giving you any whatever. And it's like, oh shit, that illusion just comes crumbling
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
And it's like, oh shit.
And then here's the thing, though. If it doesn't come crumbling down, then that's where I've met the scary delusionals where they get off and they're like, oh yeah, that was great.
God damn it. Keep sticking to the cup.
Dude, that's the clips this week. Is Trevor just having
it
the
up
coaster
as
stick,
Going off
yeah.
on a serious tangent.
yeah.
And then,
No, guys, I will.
Trevor, how am I supposed to take your stand-up advice seriously? You can't even figure out coasters,
Yeah, dude,
bro.
you can't handle a cold drink. How are you gonna
Yeah,
handle
dog.
a fucking hot crowd?
Nice,
got
got 'em.
you. Okay, so yeah, this is my fault this week. We didn't follow the rundown at all. I was gone forever, and
we kind of just went on some tangents
Dude, we
today,
went
which
on
is
some
fine. I think it
wicked
was some
tangents.
fun.
Yeah,
It was
but-
We're
fun.
testing out the
Yeah,
new set.
hey, we're trying some new stuff. Here's the thing: new setup looks good. Let's get into Block of Cringe, where I at some point I want either Loaded for Bear or ourselves to be on our own Block of Cringe. What's up?
Sorry. Since we didn't get to it, everyone look up the Roe vs. Wade thing.
Well,
Just
real.
look it up.
Classic male.
Just
Oh,
look
yeah,
it up.
Yeah. Oh
Just
my
look
god.
it up. It's really bad.
Are they banning abortion?
They're either going to gut
About time.
they're either going to gut Roe v. Wade or
Phrasing.
reaffirm it.
Stop gutting all these pregnant women.
I was gonna say they're gutting Roe v. Wade. All right.
Uh-oh.
Isn't that what that's
Figure out something
about?
for this camera?
But just look it up.
It's yeah, it's not
It's
great.
It's important.
You know
It's
what?
okay that we didn't get
I
to
was gonna
it.
say we could probably get to it next week.
It'll still be around.
It'll be in
Yeah,
the
and
first
if it's-
trimester still. We got this.
You don't have that many days now. But go ahead.
And we're back.
When's it getting voted on?
Just too many questions.
Is it fed? It's well, it's not. It's not a
It's the
vote. It's in the Supreme Court.
is,
So when
like,
are they doing the hearing?
considering a Mississippi law that they have? They're considering, I think, adopting a Mississippi law about 15 weeks. You can't abort a baby after 15 weeks, which federal law right now is up to 24 weeks. So it's like you can abort it if it wouldn't survive.
That's a
Outside
super
of the
cringy
womb.
law.
But like Texas, like places like Texas, they have like six weeks, like heartbeat laws,
Jesus.
which is like women
When
generally don't even
know
take.
they're pregnant.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
even. You wait like 2 weeks of a missed period before you even take a pregnancy test, and so like I don't know. It's just dangerous because like, you know, like if this passes, like
slippery
if
slope,
a
yeah.
woman has a miscarriage, all miscarriages have to be investigated. And like, how terrible would it be if you were trying to have a baby, you had a miscarriage, and they decided that you killed your baby, and now you're in fucking jail as a murderer?
Yeah, pretty goddamn horrific.
Women are gonna die from backstreet abortions. Like, just look into it. It's not good. I don't know what we can do about it. I don't think we can do anything about it. But
Oh no, I mean,
can riff on it.
we can riff on it on the morning show, and that's about
we,
it.
We can laugh at a horrendous thing, which is what I think we all try to do. How many?
Just being
Oh
honest.
my God.
Like, I'm not a good feminist. I don't have a phone number you can call.
As-
Like,
well-
I don't have anything. I just know it's happening.
You're on
and
our
that-
podcast.
you-
You're
yeah,
definitely not a
if
good
you-
feminist.
If you follow me on Instagram, I'll be posting some infographics
Here-
that fully detail the
here's-
horrific
here's-
situation and what you can do to help, because that is activism, is posting on your Instagram.
And that's just
story.
who Trevor
Yeah,
is.
I was gonna sign a few online petitions. Really do my part.
I'm gonna look up
In
how many
support.
9/11s
Dude, just
happen
really do
for
as much
every
as I possibly can.
backstreet abortion in numbers, because that's
Oh,
that's how you get the right and the left to come together about the numbers of people dying. Is
Baby 9/11.
Yeah, we measure it in 9/11. So I'm like, how many backstreet
Nah,
abortions?
It wouldn't
are
even.
happening?
It wouldn't even matter. We had mini 9/11s every
I know,
day for
but
the
that's
past year.
that's how they marketed it or told it on the news. They're like, this many people are dying today. That's like having 2 9/11s every day.
I love
And
that they
I
were
was like,
quantifying it like
yeah,
that. Like,
they,
we had
9/11's a
4
quantifiable
9/11s
thing.
today.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
I'm like, Jesus, dude. So that's what I'm getting at. Is like,
Wear
if
your
these
mask
laws
if you
pass,
don't-
and you're like, Jesus, like, how many women died from backstreet abortions? Like about a 9/11 and a half. Like, oh, jeez, a 9/11 one half.
Yeah. We should add that to. You know how America doesn't use metric units of measurement? We use our own system.
Yeah,
We
imperial,
should just
yeah.
add 9/11 as a unit of measurement.
It's there.
If you want to hear a stand-up joke about this, Osama
2,997
Basal
people.
does have one.
Okay.
So,
A
Very good.
9/11 joke?
how we quantify everything in 9/11.
And if you
Oh,
guys
that's
want to see
incredible.
it,
Yeah,
All
if you
right.
guys
really.
want to see Osama Basal do that joke, you can come to Ellison next Tuesday 'cause he's going to be on the lineup.
LOL.
Oh, so Osa's still your 9/11 joke.
We'll be right back. You guys can get the old cringe going.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's
I gotta
watch
go to
some
work
cringe.
soon, so we gotta knock this
Let's
out.
watch some cringe.
It's time for some cringe. The first clip is just called Bad Taste. It is just like I don't know, this kid's probably like 18. As comedians, I want you to hear this man's joke that he tells, and it's just a TikTok where he's just like, set up, punchline.
Okay.
Bingo, baby.
But it is just such a cringy joke, and I wanted to know if you guys thought this was funny.
okay.
Okay.
Oh, wait, what?
She doesn't look like she's telling jokes.
Go to the next clip, Zach. Did I put that one first?
Oh wait, that's not the cringe.
Oh, wait, no. No, actually, I remember I took...
Wait, that's the wrong video.
yeah.
Definitely don't finish this one.
Oh, man, I downloaded that for my own personal use, actually. No, I just remembered I deleted the first clip because I actually remember it's not...
Block of
it's
cum.
kind of just, yeah, block of cum. It's first clip wasn't that great, actually, so... This next clip got me hard when I watched it. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, this next clip is just a cat. It's called Cat Lady. It's a woman who is obviously. Go back to the first one, Zach. Okay. It is a. It's I don't know what anime is doing to our culture, or it's just fucking ruining everything. Because this is just an woo girl singing a really really cringy song about. I think people wanting to, get with her.
I was just watching this in the bathroom.
Lou is,
yeah.
Lou's.
Well, that was a joke. Like
It's like, wow.
To catch Lou, we're doing Block of Cum this week.
Oh,
so
nice.
Instead of
Yeah.
cringing, we're trying to
That's
get
so
everybody
wild,
to cum.
yeah.
I
me
originally
too.
had a first clip, and I forgot that I deleted it. So when we pulled this up, I was like, wait, that's not the clip. And Zach started riffing. He's like, oh, this is my own personal. I forgot. Wrong video, guys. Wrong video.
Oh God, no! It's my tax returns folder. How did this get out? A folder on a desktop that's like tax returns.
Yeah.
It's just full of horrid porn.
Porn on my desktop because I have like 8 different things labeled like Adobe Premiere.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
I'm just realizing how how easily
You could just put Adobe Premiere Crank and then like Adobe Premiere Grab it, like, all right.
My porn folder just says thoughts on Israel versus Palestine.
Oh yeah.
I keep all my porn in Word documents.
People open it up and they go, this is complicated.
Yeah, this is a nuanced situation.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had no idea what was going on there.
A lot of people hurting people.
Every single one of those folders is a porn folder.
That's how you throw them off the scent. Yeah. Zach hasn't been editing any of this. He's just masturbating feverishly. All right. Okay, so we got.
Yeah, play the Uwu girl. She's singing a song that she wrote.
Yours and don't forget to stuff me, see me like my little baby tail for your bulgy wulgy. Kisses and lickies your neck. I hope daddy likes
like
you
this guy.
suzzles and wuzzles your chest.
He's just like playing games. He's not even
I didn't even
phased,
notice
bro.
that guy in the background.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
god!
He's
Hang
in
on,
the
wait,
Play
middle.
that clip again.
Hang on. Yeah, play it and then don't talk, because I
Make me yours and don't forget to stuff me, see me like my little baby tail for your bulgy wulgy. Kisses and lickies your neck. I hope daddy likes you suzzles and wuzzles your chest. I be getting thirsty.
It's so.
I wanted
It's
to
so
write the lyrics
gross.
down, but I couldn't figure out the first line, so I didn't. But the last line really makes me just want to die inside, where she says, "Suzzles and wuzzles your chest."
I cannot.
I was like, oh.
I am so over fully grown women acting like children to get grown men hard. It disgusts me.
Not to dismiss you here, Elena, but
Trevor is rock hard.
Yeah, well, it's gross to me, dude. Like the snubby wubby your chest, like
Suzzles, wuzzles
Bro.
your
you
chest
can
is
look
fucking
like that
disgusting.
all you want and be an adult.
Something tells me computer gamer guy is super into the cat shit.
here's the thing.
Yeah,
It didn't even bother. He's like, I'm just
It's
gonna be in this
literally
video, just be an extra in the background.
I have
So gross.
I
I
have-
hate it.
I have two comments. First of all, if we could back up just a little bit, keep it paused. I think Homeboy is just in the middle of a game of League.
Yeah.
And he's like, girl, like, you do your thing, Jessica. Like,
Yeah, that's
whatever you want to
love.
do. I'm fucking carrying right now.
Yeah.
And
Watch
I
some
don't have time
Naruto
for
later.
your
It'll be a
bullshit.
great time.
Dude,
And second, I know that this is cringy, but to counter Elena, I will take, what is it, snuzzles and wuzzles?
Suzzles and wuzzles
Suzzles
on
and
your
wuzzles.
chest.
And at one point she said bulgy wolgy.
She did
Uh,
say bulgy.
yeah.
I would take this over getting shouted at for things I didn't do any day.
Yeah.
I am rock hard, and it's just because of the kindness.
You think this girl never yells at him because she does this
Dude.
bullshit?
She's definitely a sociopath.
This
but
guy-
the video.
You were talking about him
You think
playing
she's-
League.
Yeah.
He's probably crushing his rabble rouser. She's making a hyper successful TikTok video. He's gonna take her like the level 9 lord he is and
I
do
was
her
5-0 this game,
Yeah,
baby.
He's a diamond level fucking ADC.
We're
and
talking
he's gonna,
about cringe, but what we have here is love at the most comfortable, beautiful level, and they're also probably pretty successful.
Dark Souls poster, so you know that he's fucking likes it rough.
I just
Yeah.
hope you don't bring a girl.
That's a
like
joke for.
this
That's a
home.
real good
'Cause I
joke
don't
for
wanna
two
hang out with
people,
her.
I think.
He's got a
Yeah.
Dark Souls poster, which means it's incredibly hard to make her come, but she's up for the challenge.
Oh,
God
there
damn
you
it.
go.
If anybody, we gotta get more
He's-
Dark Souls viewers.
he's
We gotta get
fucking-
more Dark
Dude,
Souls
he's
fans.
streaming probably right now too. So it's
Hey,
like
what's
she's
up,
doing
guys?
it,
My
yeah.
girlfriend is back on her bullshit. They both have a million followers, and it's
yeah.
just bitching about each other.
Yeah. Dude,
That's good.
I don't
Stand-up
know.
comedy in a nutshell.
That's good.
It is. I don't know, man.
Anyways,
Yeah, we'll go to the next clip. This is probably my favorite clip of the entire thing. It's called "Fucking Embarrassing." This is like, you guys know the coach on
Yeah,
Letterkenny.
yeah,
This
fucking
is
embarrassing.
like
Yeah.
he fucking coached a women's football league. So yeah, this is like
Yeah,
it's a woman
Hooters
football
rebranded
player.
into a football.
It's a woman football player fucking up a couple plays, and her coach gives her some real motivational talk.
I thought
First of all,
I thought
this is
was
not
a men's league.
this is not a woman
Yeah.
football player. This is a
It's the
lingerie league.
football league.
But go ahead.
Yeah, it's women playing. So
Yeah, no, it is.
it's it's
It's
progressive.
You said it like this was the female
the
football
feminist
league.
football
yeah,
league.
Jake,
Yeah.
Jake just straight up.
It's
still progressive.
They're wearing
You just
thongs
mansplained.
and pads that show their titties.
He just like Elena's over here calling it out for the sexist bullshit that it is.
I'm like,
You're
what are
Elena,
these two
there's
fucking
still
videos
women.
back to back, huh?
Yeah.
How do you expect to ever make it to the
Jesus
NFL
Christ.
if you don't start with this?
Someone fuck this man. Play this video.
Me? Are you talking about me? I was kidding.
I was kidding too.
I
right.
think the kernel's of truth. Oh my god, dude.
It's progressive, dude.
The feminist football league.
Jake, are we gonna get a porn clip in here at some point? Like, sorry guys.
No, these are all. I was pretty proud of the clips I pulled this week. They're all pretty good.
I'm not
No,
complaining.
Trust me, the main focus of this video, when you watch this, you're going to be thinking about how they're in lingerie and be like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
All
All
right.
right, play the
There's a
clip,
guy?
dude. Play-
Yeah,
the
yeah.
coach. Wait
Oh,
for the
okay.
coach.
God damn it! Megan! We covered this shit over and over! Listen, we have covered that a fucking million times. Your job is the weak side tight end, not the fucking quarterback!
I've been
Well,
there.
fucking watch her! That's your only responsibility! Shake it off, get out there, god damn it!
Damn,
You
you're
know
yelling
what?
at her
Wait,
like a
wait,
man.
wait,
Let her
wait.
wear clothes.
Hang on. I was gonna say he.
Get her out! I don't want her in there! Son of a bitch! She's keeping them in this game. She's fucking
She's
done.
what?
You're only listen to me.
I think he says ruining this game.
Fucking
Shouldn't be in this
What do you
game.
think you're gonna do? Run the goddamn ball! You've got to get deep!
Dude, this is
Fucking A!
Let these women play football.
this guy is treating it like it's like it
Like it's the
yeah.
NFL. Like he's in like crunch time at the Super Bowl right now.
Pushback. Did any of you guys play football? Any of you guys on the football team?
I
No.
was on the
This
wrestling
is
team.
how they talk.
No, I
This
Yeah,
is how
yeah.
someone talked to me every day when I was 11.
Yeah. That's
for
a high school
years.
football coach. Yeah,
That's not even crazy.
I've
I'm
been
not even
yelled at
cringing.
by-
I'm just
yeah.
like, yeah, okay, I've been there.
I'm cringing
yeah.
because he's just screaming at a woman.
I'm cringing.
And he's taking it the whole league very
hey man,
seriously.
this
Like,
is what feminism looks like.
I am cringing because lingerie football should not be that serious, and I think
I
these
disagree.
women might actually have a love for the game, and I think we should throw some clothes on them and let them fucking play.
well, he
Like-
wants to win so bad, but like, dude, nobody tuning into that is like, I really hope this team wins.
I'll
That's
tell
not
you
why
one
they're
thing.
watching it.
I'll tell you one thing. If I'm playing a fucking football game in lingerie, I'm not going that hard because it's gonna fucking hurt when you fall.
I'm gonna be
I'm
honest.
not going that hard. I
Yeah.
don't care that much. I don't have the adequate amount of padding on my body to play football the way you are
Hang
screaming
on,
at me
they
to play
got
football.
big old fake. No, it's
I think it's-
horrendous.
I
It's
think
a
it's-
horrendous league.
Just-
In a weird way, it's almost progressive because all the lingerie, the lingerie,
laundry they have
all
to
the
do.
all the sexualization of women that's occurring, like all the nasty fucking garbage that they're using to market this product is just over this guy's head.
Yeah, he doesn't give a
all
fuck.
all
He
that is
cares
in
about
this
winning.
guy is just a love of the game and an eye for
Competitive
bullshit.
drive,
Yeah.
dude.
Okay, and
Yeah.
this girl, if you look at the play, which we could, she does drop coverage on the tight end, and it fucks him. Okay, so
No, she fucked up the play for sure. It's
so I'm
just
gonna
his
be honest.
reaction to
I
it.
think this guy's progressive.
I'm not gonna lie. Being a monster male club right now in the monster male club, I too was kind of shocked that this guy gave zero fucks that he was surrounded by like bikini clad women. He's so into football
Yes.
that to him this is not the WWE of football. He's like, we are on the road
gonna
to
win.
winning. Yeah, like
He's
Jesus.
progressive in the sense that he's pushing the game forward.
We were talking about loving the craft. This guy loves.
loves the
Yeah,
craft.
yeah.
He,
Yeah.
Dude, it doesn't even matter that he's in the lingerie league. He is at his fucking whiteboard making plays all day.
Yeah. Also,
It's like
Did-
Britney's gonna
did you
fucking
notice
sweep
the
through this.
subtle physical assault, but of any place to hit one of those players, he brushed the back of her helmet with his papers. I'm like,
Progressive. That's what you do.
right? In a regular football game, he would have been smacking a dude's ass real hard to get back out there.
Grabbing him by the fucking
Yeah,
shoulder
yeah.
pads and shaking him, dude.
Yeah.
I have had grown ass men spit cereal into my face playing football, dude.
Why was he eating
Dude,
cereal?
we
Dry
one of the-
fucking
one of
honeycomb
our buddies-
spitting it right in your face.
one of our buddies, I'll try and find it. It's an old YouTube clip from Grosse Pointe North, shot on a flip phone.
Yeah.
And we had an assistant coach on the JV football team that yelled so hard at some of my buddies. he threw up on the sideline, like towards the players.
Jesus.
And I just remembered my buddy Matt Lacricchio is out on the field. He's 5'5", buck nothing, just all pads and helmet. And he just goes, Lacricchio, if you don't get your fucking head out of here. And before he could say ass, just fucking blasts chunks all over the fucking field.
Oh my god.
And they like stop the game for a second. He just wipes his mouth off. He's like, good. I'm
And then
fucking
finishes.
good."
Yeah.
Yeah, then he keeps going.
Just fucking vomits. Like,
Yeah, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
head in the game.
I will wholeheartedly agree with Elena in that this league has always disgusted me as a clearly pornographic cash grab. But I also get where Trevor's coming from. Where this guy does not see titty-clad cash grab women out there at all.
You
He
see
sees
fucking
X's
warriors.
and O's. He sees X's and O's, and they better do what the fuck he says.
I respect the way that he treated that woman. She fucked up, but I'm just saying, like, no, I think it's fair. I think it's fair. I'm just saying that they should, if you're gonna treat it like a football game, we should make it a football game.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I
I
mean?
get it,
Just
I
put-
get
and
it.
make
Women
it
in full uniforms.
Yeah,
Like,
cover
yeah.
their
you don't gotta
bodies.
have their tits
Yeah.
out,
The
dude.
reason that men wear all of that shit is because you need it to
Yeah.
protect your body, and if you want these women
Well,
in
this
their
is the women's league.
bikini
The
bottoms-
field's actually made out of cotton candy. So.
well, they're still gonna tackle each other.
And they're all lubed up. Everybody's like, why? How does he keep missing that tackle? Because they're slippery.
Just break it down.
Too much Vaseline.
Oiling out.
The LFL's Vaseline budget is astronomical.
But no,
They gotta
yeah,
have
it's
real
just-
good tackle form. That's
just
You got to go
cutting
for the
these.
legs, dude. You can't
Jesus.
tackle anybody from the waist up in that
I-
league.
Yeah, I would. Whatever they're getting paid, they're not getting paid enough. Like,
Yeah, these football players got BO.
Anyways,
Oh,
the
yeah,
block
what
of
is-
cum. The block of cum continues.
Yeah,
with,
my God, dude.
Yeah, the next clip is called.
Trevor's finna bust.
Is someone gonna shout at her? I don't know.
Next clip is called "Anime is Population Control."
Okay.
This is a guy dressed up as Orochimaru from Naruto.
All right.
And he's kind of putting a new twist on an old classic YouTube video. I kind of appreciate it, but it's still like if
I kind of
this man had a girlfriend and she saw this, they'd be broken up.
Okay.
Still cringe.
I feel like you could have told me that this was a guy dressed as Orochimaru before I just kind of openly told everybody watching that I was gonna come.
Yeah, I was like,
Do you think this was a woman?
Now I got to backpedal real hard.
Oh no, you don't.
No,
you
you
can
don't.
lean into
It's
it.
2021. I
First-
guess
Yeah,
you're right.
Just what are you talking about?
Anyways.
you got a
First
problem with
female
dudes?
black metal singer.
Let-
She looks like a Lords of
let's hit the
Chaos.
clip.
Looks like
yeah.
Weeaboo Marilyn Manson. Anyways.
Play the clip.
Hit
Run
the
it.
clip.
Play the clip.
Snag. I'm a snag.
Oh.
I'm a slithery little sneaky snag. I'm so slithery and sneaky because I'm a snag. Slithering in your garden, catching me a mouse.
That's
I
a.
kind of like that one.
That's a
That one
Vine
just kind of
audio.
makes me laugh.
That's great.
It's cringe as fuck,
Yeah,
but it makes
yeah.
me happy.
I'm not gonna dig myself anymore in the hole.
I
No,
was
How do
gonna
you?
say,
I
comment
think
on
that's
that
a
one.
woman. Why was that? Why do you think that's a man?
That's for sure a man with long hair.
That's a wig.
You think?
That's a wig.
I thought
you
that
hear
was
the,
a
you hear the
woman.
voice?
That's an audio from Vine. That's not their audio. They're lip syncing that audio.
Hmm.
Let's go ahead and.
I don't know. I
DJ
guess
Zachary,
I
can
assumed
we
it
get
was a
that
man
clip again?
because Orochimaru is a male character.
Yeah,
That could
just
be.
go back a touch.
I don't know anything about
I think it
Naruto.
is a gal. I think I'm fine.
I think I'm fine.
And we're back. Yeah, that's a gal.
There's just like a couple of things like that I just like. I don't know. I don't care.
You know
what?
what?
Gender they
Yeah,
are,
I think
that's
that
a
might
man.
not be a wig. That's real long hair.
No, I think that's a man with actual long hair.
I'm
not
looking
the
into
middle
it.
part.
You guys move on. I'll look into
All right,
it.
let's hit that clip one more time. And, Trevor, just go with your.
I'm a snag.
I mean, it doesn't matter. But if you heard it with a female voice, you'd think it was a woman.
I'm so slithery.
That's a dude. Look at his
sneaky 'cause
shoulders.
I'm a snag.
I think it's a chick.
Slithering in
I think
your
it's a chick.
garden, catching me a mouse.
And now we're into a very great
That's
part
a
of the
dude.
podcast.
What,
where
what other
we're,
TikToks do they have?
I'm
Okay,
like, it
sorry.
does
New
not matter.
debate, male or female.
Trevor's already looking into it. I'm like, oh, jeez.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
that
It
is a
doesn't matter.
That's a gal.
I knew it.
Yeah, they
I
do a
knew
lot of Naruto shit, but that's a
Okay,
gal.
well, at least she's dressed up as a male character, so the confusion is genuine. Like,
All right,
I couldn't
fair.
tell. Because
Yeah.
now that I'm now that I see
She's a
her
gal.
with any of the makeup on,
So I reinstate my
Your straight
original
white male
comment.
status is safe.
hell
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
Good
yeah,
on you.
bro.
Speaking of, look at these guys.
I like their style.
I thought I took this clip out too. We can play this one though. This one's called White Boy Summer. It's pretty self-explanatory.
That's a fraternity.
Oh, these are pledges, dude. 8 of these dudes are getting cut after this. Or dropped, sorry.
Dude, all right.
God, dude.
Here's the
Trevor
thing,
and I
I know
can
that
weigh
looks
in-
cringy, but I know exactly
Yeah, I was
what's
gonna
going
say,
on, and I actually
that-
empathize.
That was
We can go
fraternity
to town.
serenades, and the funniest thing you said is 8 of those dudes are getting dropped because these guys have gone through bullshit for 6 weeks to try and join a fraternity that sucks ass.
Those guys have all 8 come.
Dude, for sure. And I got to tell you right now, I remember looking at a pledge in his face as the president of the fraternity. And he was like, "Oh man, like thank you guys so much." I'm like, "Not a problem." I made him drive one of my buddies, not from MSU, who was hammered, back to our house. He's like, "Man, I'm just worried I'm gonna get cut or dropped." I'm like, "Dude, you will not be dropped." I woke up hungover the next day at 4 p.m. to the pledge master being like, "Yeah, we dropped so and so, so and so, and so and so," and he dropped that kid. I was like, "Oh, shit!"
God damn it.
Yeah.
You were the president of a fraternity?
I see
Yeah,
that for
I
you.
was the vice
Yeah,
president.
it was a mistake.
Yep, me too.
Yeah, I feel like Jean-Luc Picard in the Borg, and now that I'm back and out of it, I'm like, yeah, we got to destroy them all. Like,
Mhm.
it's a
Yep.
nightmare. Like,
Yeah, we can talk about that.
yeah, we'll do a different pod.
Yeah.
All right.
Power through these clips.
Yeah, we're going long today. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, we are going a little bit long. We started a little bit late. It's fine. Next clip is called God is Bae. This is a girl. This is actually like a Snapchat clip that just got posted to TikTok, but it is a girl at a church, and the caption on her video is like, "This is why I don't go to church." And it's just, people really loving God.
Okay. All right.
I love God.
Okay.
I identify with that guy.
Scream for Jesus.
What's this called again?
Speaking tongues. Have you ever been in a church where people start doing that? I have one time. It takes every ounce of self-control to not just bust out laughing.
This is a regular thing that happens?
Yeah.
Speaking in tongues at church? Yeah.
So as
Not
a
at like a Christian church.
Well, so no, they're Christians.
What
they're
is
not
that? The
Catholic.
denomination? It's
Yeah,
like a
so-
weird denomination of
No,
Christianity,
it's
though.
any kind of evangelical or something like
Yeah.
that. But it's like
It's not regular Christians.
So Catholics do have this, but it's super like closed door and like you don't. If you go to church regularly, you don't see that as a Catholic.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta like go to the priest and be like, I think I need an exorcism. It's like some backdoor shit. Like even they cover it up more than the kiddie fucking shit. They're like, yeah, we do this.
They're
but
more
like,
embarrassed by
yeah,
it.
they're
To be
yeah.
honest with you, I get it.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'd rather walk in on like, but okay, all right,
Yeah,
terrible,
you hear like young boys screaming in the
Yeah.
other room. You're like,
Oh, gee. Yeah, in a
You're like,
Catholic
oh, phew.
church, you're like, oh, thank God they're just speaking tongues.
No, I was gonna say, oh, phew, he's just getting molested.
Speaking tongues
Yeah,
sounds
that's
like
what they call it in the Catholic Church.
speaking tongues sounds like code for molestation in the Catholic Church. Honestly,
But dude, it's I don't know, that stuff always it freaks me out. I'm like, okay, this is a
dude, I was in a church one time where they started doing that, and it was so fucking funny.
Yeah.
It's just it's the best laugh because it's that laugh where you're not supposed to, and you're just kind of like
you're
like
chomping your jaw shut, but you're
actively
seething.
making an effort to not let other people know that you
I
find this funny.
coincidentally, you probably look like you're also speaking tongues.
Yeah,
If you're
exactly. I was like,
clenching your.
I feel like
shut.
I could just laugh hard
Yeah,
enough and
yeah.
say a few words in between that people would be like, he's feeling the Holy Spirit.
Yeah. No, I saw that and I was like, I've done that in my car alone before.
Yeah.
You know?
All right,
We've all had breakdowns.
next clip is it's just called Tough Crowd. This is just a woman showing off of her musical talents to her, like, I don't know, 108-year-old grandmother.
Okay.
And you know when people go on American Idol and they like fuck up the song that they choose, and the judges are always like, yeah, maybe if you picked a different song.
Yeah.
That's kind of the vibe you get from watching this.
Alright.
Big dick, but I'm still coming. I
Her grandma is like, I survived Auschwitz for this. What the fuck?
She just got taken off the wheel too.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Dude, I
anything.
gotta tell you that if I was that old sitting in a chair like that, I'd be like, oh, am I going to hell right now?
I would think I'm already in hell.
Yeah.
Dude, these people already hate the younger generations, and
It's just like, why do you think that's funny to do to your grandma? Like, have a little bit of respect for the elderly. Like,
Also singing key.
That's elder abuse,
yeah, the singing
bro.
is real bad. Like, if you're gonna sing that too, like, make an effort. You know, sing from your diaphragm, for fuck's sake.
Jesus.
I'm interested in this one.
All right.
This one is not like super cringe, but it's one of those things where, like, if you found this recorder of yourself, like 20 years after you did this, you'd be like, oh my god. Yeah. So this is like a girl. She found like a tape recorder of her doing Britney Spears' "Hit Me One More Time," but it's a recorder remix.
I used to do this. I used to record myself singing in the shower on my mom's phone and then delete it right afterwards.
It's an
and be like,
actual recorder.
Oh, I'm so bad. Oh God.
It's an actual recorder.
This is
like,
cringy.
remix,
This
dude.
is
It's really
cringy.
bad.
Yeah, let's hit it.
Send it.
Tell me how you want it to be. Tell me, baby, 'cause I need to know now. Because my loneliness is killing me. And
I mean,
The recorder part's great.
yeah. Dude, to me, I'm like, this is a cute kid just being a cute kid.
That's why I said it's not super cringy, but like if this was you, you'd be like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
no,
pretty
I got
brutal. Like if I found that, I'd show everybody and be like, listen to this fucking awful thing I did when I was a
you.
kid.
Yeah.
Me and Scarlett used to make videos.
Is this cringe of the week?
Ultimate cringe of the week, baby. This
I
one's
can
called,
already tell.
This one's called Chipotle Way.
Oh boy.
This is just a this is just a girl. I don't know if she's millennial or Gen Z. She's on the younger side. I'm assuming millennial because only millennial would do something this fucking cringe.
Okay.
And she's just kind of exclaiming her love for Chipotle and why you should eat it.
It is a millennial
So
thing.
I went to Chipotle because I need to do some self-care. And since Chipotle and care both start with a C, that means eating Chipotle is a form of self-care. And no, you can't tell me different. Also, guac check. I love guac. And I'm covering this whole thing in guac because I'm an adult and I can. And self-care
worse.
life hack, you can use your leftover guac as a face mask. I guess you could say I guac a little something on my face. Did you like that pun? Because I did. Not only will the avocado make your
What's
face
the
feel
pun?
better, it'll make your chips taste better too.
I changed
and
my
this
mind.
is
I
what
like it.
self-care looks like and tastes like.
No, I like
hate
it. I like
hate
it.
so much.
Yeah.
I think she's mocking.
I
I'm
hate
pretty
it.
disgusted.
No, I think she genuinely was like, this is going to be an absurd video, and it's going to be one of the funniest things on TikTok.
What's the pun?
I don't think there is one.
Guac something on your face. Like, hey, it looks like you got something on your face, but guac, it doesn't even come close.
That's not a pun.
It's
I mean,
trying
it's
to
trying
be.
to be, but I'm like, you would have to Eminem pun that.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know, man.
Eminem
That
could
is like
be-
an Eminem verse.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like you guac something on your face.
Yeah, exactly.
Just paying way too much attention to like the in between.
Guess that's why they call it window pane. That's my favorite Eminem line.
His bars are such trash.
I don't know.
Stop now.
I like guac gal.
Knock it all off.
He's a
one hate
good
on
rapper. His
Eminem.
bars are corny and trash now.
I
It's
like
just
them.
facts.
For the
I
cringe of the
like
week, I
them.
will say this is the cringe of the week because it's the one that had me stop and like I had to think. Like I was frozen and like, what the hell am I watching? I'm like,
Yeah.
yep, that's usually what the ultimate cringe does.
You're a deer in cringy
Hit 'em with the
headlights.
Yeah. and then
Well,
eliminate
the
'em.
one that got me the most though,
That's how Eminem raps, by the way. Hit him with the venom, then eliminate him.
it is pretty good. You been listening to him more?
He just.
I
I
want
want to like him. I do. I'm
I
sorry.
want to give still though, if we're doing the ESPN top 10 though, the number one cringe of the week, ultimate cringe is still the dude pissing his pants. Like
Yeah.
that one haunts me still. Where I'm
I
like,
would argue it's
What
the lady
dude pissed in
sucking
his
a worm
pants?
off the sidewalk.
Oh, I think you missed that one.
oh, you.
Oh,
you
was
might
that
have
when
missed
Tim
it.
was here
Yeah,
a couple
Tim
weeks
was
ago?
here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was incredible, but yeah, the worm suck. I don't know. The guac one freaked me out though because I'm like, oh god. But yeah, it's just the awareness. But let's get into.
Damn, dude.
You got something? Yeah. I was gonna say final thoughts on it.
That to me is 100% cringe. That's like top tier cringe because young comedians, if you're still watching, that is what happens when you really, really want an audience and you have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
You
What
put
is
guac
it?
on your face on
Yeah.
TikTok.
You just no shame,
Anything, yeah.
No
Guarantee that
fucking
girl's an open mic
self-respect.
comic.
100 guac something on your face. that person watched one too many avocado videos on fucking Vine, and they're like, I can do that, and then they just fucking swing and miss and swing and miss. You fucking idiot. I hate her so much.
Yeah,
Swing and
jeez.
miss. It's like Zach playing MLB The
You
Show.
sound like the
Yeah,
you sound like a
exactly.
coach yelling at her on the team.
you guys are bad at
I
hitting.
see that shit on TikTok so goddamn much, and seeing it right now with all of you. Just stop. Just do anything else. You're not funny. You'll never be funny. You can learn how to write a joke. You can't learn how to smear avocado on your face and make it funny because you're not a funny person. You're failing miserably. It's so cringy. Just do anything else. Make a how-to video.
I think you broke
I
Zach.
think so.
You fucking broke him.
God, dude, maybe we should take a break from Block of Cringe. Zach's about to have an aneurysm over here.
God damn, that's fucking terrible. Anyway,
All
you guys
right,
wanna
that's
plug
the
your
show,
shit?
everybody.
Yeah.
We're ending on an angry note today.
Shameless
Speaking
plugs.
of people with no talent.
Plug your real comedy now.
Speaking of people who know talent.
All right, I'll do a real plug. Shows are running in Lansing again. There's the Weekly Crunch on Mondays. There's LOL on Tuesdays. It's been
You're
popping.
gonna have to call Ellison for reservations.
Yeah, call Ellison for a reservation. Don't call Crunchies for maybe call Crunchies for a reservation. It's been packing out.
but they won't do it.
Yeah.
Just show up,
You can see me at those two shows every week. I do stand up pretty much every night at this point. You should pay me to do it. I'm competent. Okay, bye.
Hell yeah.
Michigan Comedy Bad Boy, that too.
Yeah, y'all can go check out my EP on Spotify. It's called Ope. Go buy some merch at threadinside.com/collaborations /collections/collabs. And then check out Party Band on Spotify. It is PARTI ! That's the band I joined. Yeah.
Yeah, party band.
Yeah.
Party band.
Big party band.
I have a podcast. It's called Leave Me Alone. There will be a solo episode out tomorrow. Also, me and Louie and James are all doing a show tomorrow at Capitol Prime. There's 2 shows. Do you know if the first show is sold out or not?
No, there's tickets for the 5 p.m. show.
There's tickets for the 5 p.m. show. The second show is sold out, but we'll be posting about that, I'm sure, today. So check out our social medias for that, and listen to my podcast.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Very cool. What's your podcast name?
It's called Leave Me Alone.
Leave her alone.
Low key, you have like the best podcast name in the state.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Out
It's
of
a
any
really good
out of
one.
any comedian,
Yeah.
you have the best podcast
Thank
name.
you. It's the best because when people are like, "What's the name of your podcast?" and then you're like, "Leave me alone,"
Me
and
alone.
then no one listens to your podcast.
Yeah.
So just tell everyone to leave me
yeah.
alone.
No, I was gonna say I think it's pretty on point. 'Cause
Me
you
and
get to say it.
off mic producer Zach just did an episode. If you guys want to listen to that,
I did an episode a while back.
Yeah, we'll have to redo it.
Talked about hating women.
yeah,
Problematic
Trevor's gonna have to
Trevor.
come back
It's
and
password protected,
redeem
right?
himself. Yeah, it's a big milky juicers.
Next week,
69.
Elena and I are going to talk about Israel Palestine. I'm going to just talk about how much I like Israel and the airstrikes that they're sending against innocent people.
And I'll be taking the side of Palestine. So.
You gonna throw rocks at Trevor while he's talking?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to airstrike
Yeah,
her entire
yeah.
house.
I was gonna say, yeah,
She's
you
going to
blow
throw
up her
one rock
house,
at
yeah.
me, say one thing that threatens my
Yeah.
masculinity, and I'm just going to order an airstrike.
Yep.
Because,
That's-
it's fair.
Well,
Two sides,
I was
baby.
worried we weren't going to touch base on that, but we nailed it. As for me, everybody, I don't feel like shameless plugging this week. I got back from the mountains. If you're watching, check it out. Just like and subscribe to Salsa Parlor. And my name is Louis Michael. I do comedy occasionally as well. But all right, thanks everybody.